Now, they may not like or associate with what I say and how I say it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will interview a UNC person if they will take my call. If they will agree to come to an interview, but they don't take my call, they don't come to an interview. So I don't have a problem with that. But we have this station have enough UNC and PNM people in it. They're not a PNM radio station. No. They push that talk, there's a PNM radio station. They're not a PNM radio station. If you only know. Anyhow, Dominic, thanks.
You're most welcome, sir.
Appreciate that. Let me open my lines and get all in.
Wow. I was driven by money. I want to tell you this. I was driven by
but
the
wrong with that.
almighty
I don't have a problem with people wanting to get paid for
and
what
the UNC style is we have to put pressure on people. If we are paying you, sir, to broadcast our propaganda or we paying you to
that's wrong. That's wrong.
Deliver a narrative.
Say, listen, I giving you airtime. You say we had to say, don't interfere in my talk show.
I am the boss. I am the boss here. You know, I'm the big man in the business. I'm the boss. He's a man caring about his name. I mean, that's my friend. I was my friend. I was good afternoon. He's my friend, you know, but you know, some of your style, like, well,
take a call. Good afternoon. I work a call too, you know.
I work call me.
Yeah,
Tell me if they
call and try to defend yourself.
Yeah, Darian.
What happened, brother?
I'm glad you call him out. I make him out long time, you know. I was a greedy man. I will pay it plain and simple. He feel he could pay both sides of the fields, both sides of the fence. I was all for himself. He's all for himself. Your brother there, Roman, when now done talk there. I used to listen to he. He's a asset, the PNM, like he slip out of the hands. That fella is a research freak. He does research everything and bring the facts. And when he lay it out, so, you have no defense. You have no defense. And Aisha and all of them is the same thing. Them is no nonsense talk show hosts. Them guys used to bring the game. You understand? That's why his station gets so popular. Is them make him.
Wow.
And then you come back and you come back and stab them in the back.
The only thing Sharon do is cry sometime, you know.
I'm telling you.
Sharon Felix. Your mom got pressure.
I was a greedy man, and all you take neither you think I just get tied up with the dotishness, water, Lord, and all kind of thing. He's a greedy fella, and he all for himself.
Thanks.
And if PNM make him out yet, with them and all, neither those.
You know, thanks, sir. But my problem is, if you choose where you choose, you're entitled to that by the law. The democracies, the constitution said that, and I go fight for that right for you. But don't play them kind of game and don't take out thing on people now, boy. Don't do that. Take a call.
That texter is saying that it's a piece of silver.
Yeah.
What's Skinner Park?
And forgive all those I'm telling you, I was sad when I see that. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah, good afternoon, Darren.
What happened?
I see last Monday, you know, one of them, they so pick up with you. They vex with you for straightening Radmaraj. You have to watch them fellas, you know. That you wow them fellas when them talk, you could know who is who. Right? You could know them by the way they talk. So I tell you, watch yourself.
Thanks, brother. Let me say this, You see this station and this program, you could call and express your views. You don't have to agree with me. You don't even have to like me. But just be respectful. You could disagree. You could have a different approach. I respect that. Just don't be disrespectful. That is all I say. To other callers, neither on Facebook or when you call, don't do that. Just be respectful. Take a call.
Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Welcome. Hello.
Afternoon.
Yeah, good day.
Yeah.
I've been watching the scenario surrounding that radio station, but one question I want to ask: is that censorship?
Yes, it is. It is censorship. You're correct. You call it and you hit it on the nail. It is censorship.
So then, anyhow, I don't know if anybody made a complaint of Matt. I think Matt should make a
So you don't think that Matt Payne know of this and just allowing it to happen? So you want a formal complaint?
Well, and this is what I'm now saying too. Matt needs to make a formal complaint. Matt could put out a statement out there. They don't have to go into the details and call you.
I am the greatest. I see this letter for Google. Suspension from the 24th of July to the 24th of July. I say, Google, you see this? It's so good. I say, so they suspend you and bring it back on. It was ready to be the 14th of August. So the intention was
Misprint.
get rid of Google
Oh,
until
gosh.
after the day after the election, so you will not be effective in either criticizing or critiquing what the UNC say and promoting what he considered PNM.
Well orchestrated.
The dotishness.
And it's from where we know we gotta be responsible when we're making our comments, but we need, you see, once you have a political organization dictating a piece like that to say what messages start to come across on the airways, it's frightening. And you see, they are trying to get back into government, and it brings us
But
right
not
back
only that, you have to be a responsible human being. You have to own a radio station. Declare your hand.
Well, yeah, you declare your hand, you think it, but you can't have people dictating on what you don't hear and what you're thinking.
Let me tell you, caller, the PNM, many times, sometimes will pay on the East Indian formatted stations. That when you listen to them, you know they're anti-PNM, right? But the PNM will still pay and put a program there with respect to the fact that you have people listening there, get your message there. Whether they might learn something, they might agree, disagree, put it there, can't say nobody did or we don't hear all here, right? And those stations don't say, well, we're not putting your program.
Yeah, and they don't nobody PNM don't want to buy all these stations or cut all that program, cut this,
no,
and censor to say what should be said.
That don't happen.
Like I heard Google and them some couldn't say certain things, otherwise they get suspended.
Exactly.
Wow.
I think that is very, very, very very scared. And to put these people back into power, that's something just like what it was doing back in
dictatorship. Claire Carrington said no, Darian, it's not censorship, but dictatorship.
Well, it's dictatorship, it's the thing, but it's censoring the people and them to tell them what to say and what not to say.
Don't criticize this. Don't disagree with this.
Don't say that about this one. Yeah. And if you are responsible talk show host or journalist, whatever, once you bring across the facts, you have all the green lights to go ahead and do it.
That is all. That's all.
That is all. Yeah. Anyhow, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for calling. Take our next call.
Yes, sir. 62.
I had to get us off my chest, Gary.
Oh, Lord.
I feel lighter now.
You're vomiting like Jack?
No. I don't vomit. I'm not vomiting. I just getting off my chest.
A lot came
What
up.
I see my colleagues going through across there. I see what they're going through.
Take a call. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Barry.
Welcome.
Yeah, brother. Allow me to give some history on the young man that you're talking about, the artist known as Iowa George. We both attend a function in Brooklyn back in the early 90s, and I was talking culture with him. After I was finished saying what I had to say, Iowa George told me, brother, I don't care about culture, I just in it for the money. You hear what I'm telling you? So what you saying now, Zaria, Marcel? In line, perfectly in line with who that young man is.
I think he might have changed by now.
You think so?
Yeah, because the culture has given him so much. I think he has a greater appreciation for the culture.
Anyway,
I hope
just letting you know,
yeah.
You hope. That is what he told me, and I will go to court and say that.
Wow.
All right, caller, thank you very much.
Sir.
Strong words.
You see, Gary, it's not right to know that your colleagues in the media are going through these things.
Yeah.
And just leave it alone.
And these guys are good guys. These guys
good people
who had to resign because of pressure. Because of pressure, they contributed a lot to the art form, And it is sad to hear that they are nowhere now.
No, where Aisha Wells is. Aisha Wells did a program from 3 to 6 or something, so just parallel to this. Where she is?
Yeah, she had a big following, and I remember passing here in her program. More people listening.
One of the biggest people who helped grow that station, Sharon on a morning.
Oh, okay.
Sharon now 3 days in the week.
I know this.
Why?
This boy deceased now. He was there.
Who's that?
The guy they call what's his name?
Gladiator.
He started the big
Gladiator and Gladiator move and went back and whatever, right? Yeah. But I just saying you know, I just find it unreasonable
And unfair.
and unfair
Yeah.
to be putting people through that and playing your games, your machinations. You know, I'm not taking that. So I calling you out.
You hire me for a specific talent because of my talent and my style and my craft.
Yeah.
And now I am on the breadline because you is selfish and
No,
greedy.
they pay you and tell you, hey.
Yeah, get rid of that fella, but that fella, he's causing too much shit ripples in the water there. You need to move him.
Yeah.
Move him
Take
immediately.
a call. Are you in the program with a call?
Call
Good
up.
afternoon.
Iowa.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon there. You can't be Iowa.
Listen, behave yourself.
Sorry, darling.
We are hurting for two things. Because you ain't get his vote. Okay, whatever you do, right. But you know what hurting me? You see, we don't listen to the UNC meeting, and we need, as people in this country, to need listen. Kamala says she's fighting for the catch-ass people. I ain't no
You know,
catch-ass
yeah,
person.
I hear that. I hear
She
that.
fast. She fast to call me catch-ass. Eh? And my Negro people sit down there clapping.
Yeah, I'll go play it for you.
Look now.
Gary, have it?
I
You
was
know
so
that
shocked.
one?
I was so shocked.
No, she
And
said.
then she switched the word.
Yeah, she said.
Okay, darling.
I have it. I'm gonna play it for you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Because I feel all you ain't have it. All you ain't have it.
You didn't have it. I have it, you know.
No, I
I
know.
need to
I
have
will
it for
give
your
it to you.
guys.
I will give it to you. But I can't get there again.
Like,
The
live,
newsroom.
because the time
The
is upon us.
newsroom. Yeah.
Respect the news.
Yeah, we gotta.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Hold on,
news- Other news.
Because news is important.
Yeah,
you
very,
know.
very important to get the news on time too as well, my friend.
That's not right. We still am. We still am.
Yeah,
Have a
a
couple
couple
minutes.
seconds. A couple of seconds, people.
Yeah.
Bear with us. While
Hear
we-
this. I'm playing it here first.
Oh yeah, better.
Others who work with us, Christian, others. And Picong, we know what it is like to fight.
Yes, stop it.
Sorry.
And the programs that we put in were to help the pictures class. Forgive me for using that word.
Wait.
No, I'll play it over for you quickly.
That's our former Prime Minister.
Yeah.
MP Darcy, others who work with us, Christian, others. And Picong, we know what it is like to fight and struggle. And the programs that we put in were to help the pictures class. Forgive me for using that word.
No, Darian, stop that. We can't play that foul language on the people radio station.
Yeah, but
What is
the
this?
other here what
We
the
can't have the
politics
former
and
Prime Minister is saying things like that, but come on.
doesn't matter, boy. At the end of the day, saying all
In
kind of
spite
things.
of we
I'll put it up on the WhatsApp chat. Or look at check it.
we ought to have some.
You can play it for
form
him to come back. But when he come back, the chairman of the PNM, Mr. Stuart Young, will be here to sit down with us until 6 o'clock and we'll talk some more. Right? But we go to New Center 5 at 5.
At
with
4.
Mr.
At 4.
At 4, sorry. We go to New Center 5 at 4 with Mr. Lance
Motley. Stay tuned.
Broadcasting from Port of Spain, Trinidad, this is the most influential name in radio. I-95.5. Live local coverage you can depend on. This is News Center 5 at 4.
Opposition leader again questions the integrity of EBC officials. Off-duty officer held up at ATM. TNT Scout Jamboree contingent evacuated in South Korea over extreme weather. And Portugal battles wildfires as temperatures soar. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. This just in, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is appealing to drivers to exercise greater care and caution on the nation's roads. This follows 2 road traffic collisions which claimed 2 more lives. At around 1:30 a.m. yesterday, officers from the St. Margaret's Police Station responded to a report of a road traffic accident along Hermitage Road, Claxton Bay. The driver was identified as 33-year-old Terrell Brown of number 2 Clement Joseph Drive, Claxton Bay, who received fatal injuries in the collision. Also around 10:40 p.m. on Monday, 42-year-old Amrit Naubat of number 2 Brazil village, Sangre Grande, was killed when his motor vehicle was proceeding west along the eastern main road, Valencia, in the vicinity of Mount Zion Church. These two road traffic deaths increased the current road fatality figure for Trinidad and Tobago to 58. For the same period in 2022, there were 62 deaths. TTPS Road Safety Coordinator Sergeant Brent Batson reiterated the preventable nature of these tragedies. He says 2 more families have lost their loved ones unnecessarily in tragedies which need not occur if drivers would have been more cautious and responsible on the roadways. He says although road traffic deaths are lower when compared to last year, there continues to be reckless driving patterns which endanger not only the drivers themselves, but their passengers and other road users. Senior Superintendent of the Traffic and Highway Patrol Branch, Clint Arthur, also lamented the fact that the months of April, May, and June saw an increase in road traffic deaths, although officers from this unit have been engaged in a sustained effort in traffic enforcement. He says, although they are appealing to drivers to obey the rules and regulations governing the roadways, he has met with his command team with the goal to increase road policing operations both along the highways and within the divisional main roads. The integrity of those at the helm of the Elections on Boundaries Commission is brought into question by the leader of the opposition just days before the local government election. Last evening, Kamla Prasad Bisasa questioned the EBC about the criteria used to hire 2 returning officers. She is claiming the 2 have links to the ruling People's National Movement. Mrs. Prasad Bisasa fears this could lead to an unfair outcome on August 14th.
So I want to ask ABC, what criteria do you use to select returning officers for everywhere, but especially for San Fernando City Corporation? What was the criteria? Is it true that the returning officers, John Mark George and Lorette Hope McDonald, are registered PNM members and returning officers in San Fernando City Corporation? Is it true?
According to Mrs. Prasad Bisasa, the 2 returning officers have been placed in some key districts which are being contested.
John Mark George is a returning officer for Lesser East. Hear me, Lesser West, Springvale Paradise. That's 3 San Fernando critical seats. Lorette Hope McDonald is a returning officer for Marabella East, Marabella South Vista Bella, Marabella West, Macayes, Marabella West, you see too. All of these are hotly contested marginal seats. So I call on this returning officer, are you on the PNM's registered members list? And if you are, you have to declare a conflict of interest.
Mrs. Prasad Bisasa was addressing a meeting of the United National Congress in Pinal. It was there she also accused critics of her light them up comment of not caring for the victims of crime. The UNC leader called the critics hypocrites.
The Prime Minister is what you see, what you get. He doesn't desire to be a populist.
The leaders of both the ruling People's National Movement and the opposition United National Congress are described as arrogant and inconsistent. The criticism comes from political analyst Dr. Shane Mohammed. With the local government election just days away, Dr. Mohammed agrees that leaders must be assertive, but they must also be willing to listen. He assesses the leadership styles of the head of the cabinet, Dr. Keith Rowley, and opposition leader Kamla Prasad Bisasa.
Prime Minister is what you see, what you get. He doesn't desire to be a populist. Right. He is very much a transactional leader. Take it or leave it. I think he himself believes that he got to where he is by political chance, by fate. Could he do a better job? The answer is yes. Do I wish Dr. Rowley success in his prime ministership? Of course, but unfortunately, he's absolutely arrogant. I don't think Dr. Rowley runs the government as a dictator. However, any prime minister, any head of cabinet must have a certain level of authority. I could say on the other side that Mrs. Bisessa is a complete flip-flop. I can say that she's a pushover. I could say maybe Mrs. Prasad Bisessa should have run her cabinet a little more with a little more gusto and be less wanting consensus. Not everything is going to require consensus.
Dr. Mohammed believes the ruling PNM and Dr. Rowley are pompous and haughty.
They talk to the people with a level of authority, not forgetting, I should say not understanding, forgetting that it is the people who have employed them. And therefore, their level of discussion and conversation with the people is not one that is engaging, but it is one that is directing and one that is authoritative. That's not how you speak to people that you are governing. You have a dialogue with the people.
The political analyst also suggests Mrs. Prasad Bisessa has done herself a disservice given her recent actions.
This return of Jack Warner to the United National Congress should never have been a return. What has changed between 2013 and 2023? Wasn't it the same in 2013? Mrs. Prasad Bisessa got caught up in she talks about Dr. Rowley's webs that he has weaved, but she has weaved the same web for herself and seems now incapable of getting out of it. Right? And she's become beholden to so many different tentacles within the party structure that it's causing mass chaos. She's also created a new political culture that many people don't identify with. The litmus test for Mrs. Prasad Bisessa's tenacity as a political leader to win an election was in 2020, and she vehemently failed it.
Despite his views on both political leaders, Dr. Mohammed remains convinced even when the electorate is given a chance for change, they do not act upon it. Dr. Mohammed was a guest on the Sunday Take Two program on I-95.5 FM. Manzanilla taxi drivers are considering lending support to another party in the upcoming elections. Their decision comes on the claim that the Dr. Keith Rowley-led administration has not fulfilled its promises. They say the only access road in the area is bad and all they are getting is lip service without nothing to follow. Commuters heading along the Manzanilla-Miara Road yesterday morning were delayed after residents and taxi drivers burnt debris in protest of the road conditions. Speaking with News Center 5 this morning, one taxi driver, Caleb Matthias, said there will be a change in how his members vote next Monday.
We, as a taxi driver in this association here, we, for the party red regime right now, we want to go yellow, plain and simple, right? And more or less, that area is more or less UNC does win on that side. So I feel them does be putting me under a little pressure and all too, because that Kokal, Mafikin and thing, them areas, they may around thing is a kind of yellow kind of zone. That's a UNC zone. So more or less, they don't give all the councillors and things like who's from UNC and all that who went up there, they just give them pressure, like for anything they ask for is pressure to get. So we had to get the head now to yellow, if you know what I'm saying.
Mr. Matthias also said there was a conversation between the drivers and Minister of Works and Transport, Roland Sinanan.
What I got from what the Minister of Works and Transport said yesterday via the phone call is that more or less they're going to the original road, they're just going to fix the parts that break away. I think that's what he said, they're going to fix the parts that break away. Which meaning nearly a year now, if that's all we was going to do, all you could do that all the time, instead paying us at our surveyors, because every week they have surveyors there though. I don't know doing what. Today they just surveying again today in the road there, there's a set of surveyors there and some excavator and stuff just clearing the side, doing a little CPEP work, I should say. No road work ain't happening yet.
Mr. Matthias said the drivers intend to keep up their action by calling on the authorities for a permanent fix. A trip to a bank ATM leads to an off-duty police officer having a close brush with death. Reports say the incident took place on the Eastern Main Road at around 10:05 last night. News Center 5 understands that the ATM, the officer was accosted by a masked gunman who demanded cash. The officer is reported to have handed over a bag of cash he intended to deposit. The bandit took the money and walked to a white Nissan AD wagon parked outside the ATM. While he remained at the ATM, the officer was shot at by the bandit. The officer pulled out his licensed pistol and fired a shot, but the bandit sped off in the vehicle. One of the bank's glass windows was damaged by a bullet. Investigations are now ongoing. There is confirmation that the Trinidad and Tobago contingent at the 25th World Scout Jamboree has been evacuated from Saemangeum, South Korea. This is the latest in a series of events at the Jamboree, including severe heat waves and an impending typhoon. Speaking with News Center 5 this morning from their journey to the capital, National Commissioner Ainsley John said the contingent will be relocated before the arrival of Tropical Storm Kanoon tomorrow.
This morning, the evacuation started, and we made a considered effort to get the scouts off of the campsite and into the accommodation that was provided by the government of Korea. So the government deployed the army alongside the police force to work with the scouts movement and the organizers of the Jamboree, and we moved all of our scouts to various locations across Seoul. So the Jamboree is now on the move, and it's heading to Seoul from Saemangeum.
Mr. John reassured the public that their motto, being prepared, is what has kept them safe and focused during their turbulent stay in the Far East.
One of our European counterparts made a statement this morning that it could only be the Scout movement that could do something like this with an activity that involves young people. So what he was referring to was the fact that in one instance, the Jamboree was flooded before we arrived. We had to deal with a heat wave, and now we have to deal with a typhoon. But in all of those instances, we were prepared, as our Scout motto is, to ensure the safety and the well-being of our participants and our members through a program that was very diverse, engaging, and dynamic enough to capture the attention of everybody involved.
One of the scouts is Tyler Sunarine. He sees the experience as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in spite of the situation.
We're holding up fine, actually. This is nothing we are not used to. We have camped in bad conditions, I guess, before. So it's nothing new. So Trinidad is fine. I will say we are fine. The campsite actually has Wi-Fi 24/7. So I used to call my mom every morning and night. So so my parents were actually very well informed. All of our parents were. What I will take personally, I enjoyed meeting people from all over the world, places that I never knew before. You learn new cultures, you meet new people, make new friends. And I don't think much people have that type of experience in their lifetime. So it's like a once in a lifetime experience. So
the scouts will be moved to various locations across Seoul, where the Jamboree will continue until its conclusion on August 13th. In international news now, firefighters in Portugal are fighting to contain wildfires engulfing thousands of hectares as temperatures soar. Around 800 personnel attended a fire near the southern town of Odemira overnight on Monday, with more than 1,400 people having to evacuate. At least 9 firefighters have been injured tackling the fires. Temperatures in excess of 40 degrees Celsius are expected to hit much of the Iberian Peninsula this week. Here's more in this BBC report.
I can hear the constant buzz behind me now of the aircraft that are doing trips from the nearby reservoir to the site of the fire that's just over the hill behind me. It's about 3 or 4 kilometers now from where we are. It hasn't moved very far today because it's been such a calm day. We had 30-mile-an-hour hot winds from the east, from the interior, from Spain, from the hottest parts of the peninsula, and that doubled the size of the fire in a matter of hours. The firefighters, of which there are now almost 1,000 fighting this fire in 330 plus vehicles with around 11 or 12 aircraft, are trying to contain it before the winds change. And this is the big danger we have here, is that the winds are swirling around, and if it suddenly picks up and starts blowing again, the fire can cut off through valleys, down through areas of eucalyptus forest and pine nut forest, and the fire could spread once again. So everyone's still very nervous here, but hoping that the fire brigade are doing what they can, taking this opportunity to try and get under control of the fire as much as they can.
That BBC report brings us to the end of our 4 o'clock news package. Here's another look at the highlights. Police call for increased safety on the nation's roads. Off-duty officer held up at ATM. TNT Scout Jamboree contingent evacuated in South Korea over extreme weather. And Portugal battles wildfires as temperatures soar. Stay with us. We'll have another newscast for you coming up at 5 o'clock this afternoon.
News Center 5, live local coverage you can depend on. I-95.5, the most influential name in radio.
Join the afternoon drive with Daria and Marcel on Tuesday, 8th August, with his special guest, Minister Stuart Young, Party Chairman for the People's National Movement, as he joins the afternoon drive. Tune in from 4:30 p.m. for this informative program on local government reform. I-95.5 FM, the most influential name in radio.
TNT, we are back. I-95.5 FM, Red 96.7 FM, and W107.1 FM is giving back the September payback. Cash and prizes to be won. This is it. September payback is coming. Stay tuned.
This is I-95.5's Who the Cap Fit.
Who the cap fit? Let them wear it.
Politicians are the same all over. They promise to build a bridge, even when there is no river. Nikita Khrushchev.
Who the cap fit? Let them wear it.
In observance of Steel Pan Month in Trinidad and Tobago, the Steel Pan Authority celebrates the power of the Steel Pan series, the pulse of the Steel Pan. Today's band, the Woodbrook Playboys.
My name is Leroy Grant. I'm the leader and secretary of Woodbrook Playboys Steel Orchestra. This level of excellence from Woodbrook Playboys did not go unnoticed. This quality caught the eyes of CONCACAF and FIFA. The band had diplomatic assignments in performing the national anthems of countries around the world. Eventually, the band had the distinction to accompany the Soca Warriors when their team qualified for World Cup Germany 2006. At that event, Trinidad and Tobago had the distinction of being the smallest country to qualify for a World Cup final, and Playboys was there.
The power of the Steel Pan series from the Steel Pan Authority in observance of Steel Pan Month. Brought to you courtesy South Park Plaza, Westby Supermarket, Kia Motors, Penny Saver Supermarket, RBC Royal Bank, Cathedral, Credit Union, Brentwood Shopping Mall, Universal Package Systems Limited, and Woodford Cafe, Price Plaza.
Are you ready, Trinbago? The countdown is on for the Commonwealth Youth Games 2023. See over 1,000 athletes from 70 countries competing in 7 sporting disciplines from August 4th to the 11th. Let's come out and support. Let's rep for our team. Let's go, Trinbago. Tickets are available at tickets.com. That's TIKKETS.com. For the love of sport, I choose sport.
This is the voice of the PNM. On Tuesday, August 8th, Sangre Grande. Meet us at Guayco Secondary School. Let's have a conversation about reform. All are invited.
The doctor says PNM reform is the way. PNM.
Our political leader and Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, will be there to have a conversation with you on how this reform is a power shift from central government to your councillors. Let's talk about this power shift. Ask your questions and learn how reform empowers you and your community. Join us August 8th, Sangre Grande. Conversation starts at 7 p.m. Tune in live on all major TV and radio stations and PNM's social media platforms. On August 14th, Make the right choice. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
That was a paid announcement. Calling all single ladies.
All the single ladies, all the single ladies.
Getting married soon?
Now put your hands up.
Well, this is for you. Amber Media Productions and Studio One Photo Center invites you and your fiancé to the Wedding Showcase Bridal Show. Sunday, September 24th at Signature Hall, Chaguanas from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's one full day of giveaways, samples, live entertainment, and much, much more. With free wedding cakes, free wedding venue, free photography, and lots of discounts for your wedding. Register online at ambermediatt.com. That's AMBERMEDIATT.com. Or call 359-5448 or 359-5452 for more info. The Wedding Showcase Bridal Show. Sunday, September 24th, Republic Day weekend. Signature Hall, Chaguanas. Don't miss it. Miss it.
If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it.
You could get more data, you want that. Hotspot share, you like that. Move so much faster, keep it on track. Digicel, with the only network that got it like that. We rolling with Digicel. My plan just we roll with them. More data for any use, talk longer and roll over data too, yeah. We rolling with Digicel. My plan just we roll with them. Faster speeds, better plans. Stick with the champion, yeah.
Download the My Digicel app or dial *323# to find out more today. Digicel, better connected.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for a weekend filled with football madness in beautiful Tobago? Get your funny bones ready because the I-95.5 Fet Match football team is coming to town. Join us on Friday, August 11th as we take on our first challengers, the mighty Joined Forces at the Plymouth Recreation Grounds. It's going to be a match you don't want to miss. And the laughter doesn't stop there. On Saturday, August 12th, get ready for a hilarious showdown as we go head-to-head with Charlottesville FC at the Charlottesville Recreation Ground. It's football with a side of comedy. But wait, the fun doesn't end there. On Sunday, August 13th, brace yourselves as we take on the formidable Old Magic FC at the Riverbank Oval. They say laughter is the best medicine, but in this case, it's the best defense. So gather your family and friends, pack your sense of humor, and join us for a weekend of football, laughter, and non-stop entertainment. The I-95 Fet Match team is coming to Tobago, and they're ready to bring the house down. Don't miss out on this uproarious event. Mark your calendars for August 11th, 12th, and 13th. Brought to you by I-95.5 FM, your #1 station for laughter, music, and unforgettable moments. Sponsored by Customized Health Solutions and Lighting Media Ministries.
Are you ready, Trinbago? The countdown is on for the Commonwealth Youth Games 2023. See over 1,000 athletes from 70 countries competing in 7 sporting disciplines from August 4th to the 11th. Let's come out and support. Let's rep for our team. Let's go, Trinbago. Tickets are available at tickets.com. That's TIKKETS.com. For the love of sport, I choose sport.
Local reform is power. Sangre Grande, we taking the power. City to country, we taking the power. It's about time all our we get the power. Come on and go. This is the time. Although they calling we name of Sangre Grande, we don't take no chain of force. Pretend that they cash if we focus. For the red army, we think that we say no. And we transform. We take from, we reform. Like you born, like culture, we reach from. They get on the summit, we feel warm. When they say reform, say freedom, power. Sangre Grande, we taking the power. City to country, we taking the power. It's about time all our we get the power. Come out and vote.
On August 14th, make the right choice. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
That was a paid political advertisement.
Up to 40 residents of the Blake Avenue Sugars Lane area are thanking their Member of Parliament and the Community Water Improvement Program for providing a secure water supply.
As the Member of Parliament, we are most grateful, and I do intend to continue partnering and working with the Ministry of Public Utilities, the WASA department especially, to bring pipe-borne water to all the residents and in those communities who are devoid of pipe-borne water.
CWIP, serving communities, improving access.
This was a production of the Information Division, Office of the Prime Minister, Communications.
Divas Calypso Cabaret International invites the nation to display national pride as we celebrate 50 years of soca. 50 years of soca. The Lord Shorty Testimony on August 30th, 2023 at the Central Bank Auditorium from 8 p.m. featuring the music of Garfield Blackman, Lord Shorty, Rash Shorty Eye.
The old Indian chick, she's so bony, skinny like a whip.
Get your tickets at $200, available from all members of Divas, Athletes by the Park, and Crosby St. James, or call 680-7722. Come celebrate 50 years of soca. The Lord Shorty Testimony. Be there. Powered by I-95.5 FM.
The biggest party in sport is back for 2023.
Yes.
CPL and WCPL return with more action than ever before.
Brilliantly taken.
Support TKR, including their stars Andre Russell, Deandra Dalton, and the returning Dwayne Bravo.
Are you kidding?
Games are between the 5th and 10th of September. Get your tickets now at cplt20.com.
Oh, goodness.
Join the party. Experience cricket played louder.
Do you have problems remembering the most basic thing? Gink Gold is specially formulated and clinically proven to increase blood circulation to the brain and extremities, improving your memory, mental sharpness, and concentration. Have a better future with improved memory. Use Gink Gold by Nature's Way.
Get ready for PSCU Credit Union's Health Fair and Family Day. Join us on Saturday, August 19th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at St. John's Ambulance Hall. Enjoy free basic health screenings such as blood glucose, blood pressure, blood cholesterol, BMI and nutrition, HIV testing, vision screening, PSA, immunization and cancer, first aid and CPR demonstrations. Plus, there's so much more to explore. Feel the energy with our Zumba and aerobic sessions, fun-filled games for kids and adults with fantastic prizes and free giveaways throughout the day. Register for free online via www.pscutt.com or call any of our branches. Remember, health matters, so mark your calendars for the free PSCU Health Fair and Family Day on Saturday, August 19th. See you there. PSCU, on us you can rely.
This is the time. Let me up in this. Reform is the power shift. It's time to climb. One blood, one team, one price. August 14, one choice. Big blood thicker than water, stronger than water, stronger together. Big blood, big blood. Let me tell them about big blood. Yeah. Big blood. Local reform is power. Sangre Grande be taking the power. City to country be taking the power. It's about time all our we get the power. Come on and go. This is the time. Although they calling your name up, Sangre Grande, we don't take no chain up. Force pretend that they cash it. We focus for the red army. We think that go say no.
On August 14th, make the right choice. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
That was a paid political advertisement.
The First Lady in Para invites you to Noche Latina. Noche Latina. Yes, it is Latin night at Kaiso Blues Cafe. Sunday, August 13th from 7 p.m. Featuring popular Latin hits from Alicia Jagasaw.
Despacito, it is Christmas every day in Sweet
Evolution, the band, and DJ Brandon. Calling all Latin dancers to the floor. There'll be prizes to be won at Noche Latina, a Latin night with Alicia Jagasaw. Sunday, August 13th at Kaiso Blues Cafe, Wrightson Road, Port of Spain. Advance tickets cost $150. At the door, you pay more. Call 742-1446-785-0248 or 460-4390 to book your ticket. Limited seating available, so book now. Noche Latina, a Latin night with Alicia Jagasaw at Kaiso Blues Cafe. History, beckons.
Nicholas Paul streaking away with it. Look at this. This is absolutely outstanding sprinting. So much ground to make up for Jack Carlin. He's really going for it, but Nicholas Paul will not be stopped. Trinidad and Tobago are going to claim a gold medal through Nicholas Paul. Sensational Kieran riding. What a victory. What a performance. What a moment for Trinidad and Tobago. Take a bow, Nicholas Paul, star of the show.
Glasgow, Scotland welcomes the best of Trinidad and Tobago cycling for the World Cycling Championships. August 3rd to 13th to Neil Campbell, Akil Campbell, Quasey Brown, and Nicholas Lee Paul have only one thing on their mind: give of their best and bring glory to Trinidad and Tobago again. Join I-95.5 FM, Red 96.7 FM, and W107.1 FM for the one and only cycling coverage from Andre Aero Batista and Tony Lee for the World Cycling Championships, live from Glasgow, Scotland. Live the dream, feel the experience, be part of the joy.
Nicholas Paul with one more lap to go. I don't put up a slight lead here. Santiago is trying to cover him, but Paul begins to extend. They turn into the straight. Nicholas Paul, here comes Paul. It's all Nicholas Paul. Glory to Trinidad and Tobago. Paul wins again. They can't stop Nicholas Paul.
Brought to you by Republic Bank, Unicut, the Sports and Culture Fund, Office of the Prime Minister, W107.1 FM, Red 96.7 FM, and I-95.5 FM. The most dominant name in sports coverage.
This is the 95 Afternoon Drive with Darian Marcel on the Eye.
Good afternoon again and welcome back. Welcome back to all our listeners wherever you are in the world. And I see we have, people from Hawaii and so on. But let me share this with you. It's a fortune fever. The Lotto Plus jackpot is now an estimated blazing $16 million. With $16 million, symptoms may include the sudden urge to purchase new property, the travel itch to visit luxury hotels all over the globe, and coughing up extra cash to sponsor charitable causes. Play the multiplier for only $5 more for a chance to win up to $1 million when you match 5 numbers. Get a cure for the cash cravings. Get your tickets now for Wednesday's estimated $16 million jackpot draw. Remember, winners always play Lotto Plus. Buy a ticket. You don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance. Mr. Chairman, you have a ticket?
I'll give good evening, everyone, Darian, Gary, and all our listeners and viewers all over the world, I'm told. I'll give you a funny story. I have been walking all over with our PNM family and our PNM troops and, speaking to the people all around the country. I was in Point Fortin last week and I thought I bought the winning ticket. In fact, the people lining up behind me, I saw a little lotto booth in Point Fortin by the grounds. I said, don't worry to buy a ticket, I just buy the winning one. So I now understand I didn't win, so I'll have to get another one.
The next one.
I'm Grandy tomorrow. Yeah. Go buy one in Grandy.
No. You gotta buy it in time for tomorrow.
Oh, it's in time for tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Wednesday.
Papa.
I'll make sure you buy it for Joyce tomorrow.
All right.
So, but you're not buying alone. I making sure buy before you. Welcome and thanks for taking time to come and speak with us here. To our listeners.
No. Thank you all, and thank you as usual, Darian, for the opportunity to be here this evening. It's very, very important.
So, as chairman, you're here in your capacity as chairman of the People's National Movement. Let me ask you, firstly, how has been that portfolio so far?
It has been a steep learning experience, but a wonderful one. I have to say, since I joined the PNM back in 2014, it has been a tremendous learning experience. I have gotten experiences that I don't think many people in the world would have gotten, and this is just another step in that. I have really enjoyed it. It is a lot of responsibility, and our political leader has let the new executive really grow into their roles and given us a lot of leeway to do what needs to be done. But as the chairman of the party, what I've really enjoyed is getting further than just my Port of Spain North St. Anne's West constituency and really moving all around and interacting with our membership and the citizens around the country. And, you know, being able to engage people and discuss PNM and what it is we've done for this country in the last 60 something plus years is really remarkable. And, you know, as a young person growing into that and getting a better understanding, and in particular interacting with our more experienced members who have the wisdom. But then some of these walks recently, Darian, the young people that I'm seeing, I was in Barataria on the weekend, walking with candidate Kimberly Small and the young people surrounding her. It was the same thing last week with candidate Teresa Lynch in Taruba. And just the young people who are being drawn to the party. It is very exciting, in some exciting times and some difficult times from a national level. So to have the responsibility and to be elected in December of last year to chair this illustrious party that I think is probably the best, one of the best, if not the best in the CARICOM, but also in the Western Hemisphere, it is a real privilege and honor.
You know, you spoke about the amount of young people that the party has attracted as possible candidates, as prospective candidates and as candidates. There's this narrative that, you know, the party is no longer attracting young people, young talent, and as a set of old people. After 61 years, how has the party been able to do that based on your observation?
I think it's actually 67.
67. So you're correct.
It is, that is old talk. The beauty of the party is we have the old experienced people. I'm telling you, up till yesterday, I in Belmont, and an old lady came up to me and lectured me and said, let me tell you something. I was there with Eric Williams from the day go, you know, before 56 when he formed the party. I was going all over the country. But I'm walking with a candidate in Belmont, Malua Bourne, who is a young lady, Janice. Because you now have some of the older ones in the party who are saying, look, you know, it is time to pass on the baton, and they saying you need to get more young people. So I don't buy for a moment. Well, it's not a fact. The fact is that we have attracted a lot of young people. Again, I'm proud to say we are the only party that was able to field easily 141 candidates in every electoral district in Trinidad's local government elections. And when you look at the composition, as we will present them for the last time on Saturday at our rally on Saturday, you make your own judgment call. I am proud to sit there as the chairman of this party, Darian and Gary, and see young people, see the ethnicity and the diversity of the party. And when you look at it, the religious composition, but also man and woman, it is remarkable. Sometimes we had more women in the lineup than men, and it augurs well for the party. And what we need to do is just continue to encourage that and give them responsibility. One of the political leaders' legacies, I have been saying this since 2015, is going to be and has already been written in the books, the ability to have attracted quality young people to the PNM and to offer service for them, not only to come forward, but to offer service. That is one of Dr. Rowley's legacies, without a doubt.
So we are in the throes of our election. We have a few days again to go. I have noticed in the campaigns, I've been listening to the UNC, I've listened to Gary Griffith and the NTA, I listened to Jack and himself, listen to the PNM. A matter of fact, last night, Dr. Rudal Munilal said, this is shaping, look at what people here, and it's outside. This is shaping up like a general election. But the conversations on the UNC platform has been when we get into office. When we get into the office, whether, and of course the other things that we won't talk about. I have noticed, however, the PNM platform has been focused on local government and the issue of reform. So that is what I want to hear for us to talk about. What, and I know people are hearing the issue of reform because the government, PNM has advocated for local government reform. Let us see if we could drill down a little bit. What is the PNM, your party, offering to the citizens, people listening? What are they offering in this campaign, in this election, in terms of local government reform? What are some of the tangibles?
Darian, your observation is 100% correct, as is usual. The PNM is fighting a local government election. What you're seeing being offered by the others is very little policy, but even any policy they sprinkle in the old talk is more at a national level. And as you've heard the Prime Minister say, come the 15th of August, the PNM is still the central government. We are still the majority in Parliament. We will still decide what are going to be the laws of Trinidad and Tobago. So what people need to understand is we have been engaging in, as you say, local government policy and reform. And it's as simple as this. Walking in Point 14 and you're seeing certain infrastructural work that needs to be done, a drain that needs to be completed, some roads that need to be patched after they've gone through some work with WASA and this type of thing. That corporation, the councillors there, one, they don't have the executive authority. So they meet in council, they may take a decision, and then now you're waiting on the council, the public servants, to take the decision. Then they had to send out a Port of Spain to Kent House, where the local government ministry is, and ask for releases and ask for money and this type of thing. It had to go to Ministry of Finance and environments and transfers. All of that is complicated. Whereas we, the citizens, just want to know, well, hold on, the road in front of my house that needs repair, or the rubbish contract that needs completion so they can pick up the rubbish, and the box drain that needs fixing, or the drains that need cleaning, I don't want to hear that's taking 4, 5, 6 weeks. The local government reform is now giving more autonomy to each corporation. You're going to have, and especially with the property tax, you're collecting your own tax, so you have money to spend it. There's still going to be accountability. You're still going to be accountable for the money. But now the council will have more autonomy. And when they make the decisions, they're now more able to implement the decision. So you don't have to go to Port of Spain for a road to be fixed, for the grass on the sport field to be cut. You need a whacker, you need a tractor and this type of thing. It is engaging the things that matter to people the most. And as an MP, a member of Parliament, walking with the councillors, for example, in Port of Spain, and when people engage me, they say, MP, look how long we're waiting for that drain to be. I say, well, hold on, the councillor is here. And immediately people understand that the corporation is in charge of that. And now they will have the responsibility and the power to be able to carry out their duties.
Let me ask you this. There must be equity, right? We have 14 regional corporations. And if you're talking, well, what you just said, so here this, folks. Reform, greater autonomy for regional corporations. You don't have to depend on decision making at Kent House. You'll be collecting your property tax, utilize that money and make decisions what your projects are and priorities and execute. But there are regional corporations, doesn't have the population of Tegomatin Regional Corporation, Port of Spain, even Tunapuna. There are UNC-controlled corporations, whether it be Setparia or wherever, that may not have the volume of people to collect taxes from, or the volume of tax. How are they going to be able to satisfy the needs of their burgesses when their taxes that they may collect may be less than what they need to execute to survive?
That's an excellent question, Darian, and you allow me to provide an explanation. Property tax and the collection of property tax is not going to be the only revenue of a regional corporation. Regional corporations, as they now do get subventions and they got in a budgetary allocation at the beginning of every fiscal year, each corporation gets basically the same amount of money. That will continue. But the ability now to collect property tax means that you're now more accountable. The same way in countries away where you have the corporation, you go to the United States, it's broken up in different areas and they collect their own taxes. So it gives you more autonomy for spending in your area. But it does not mean that central government is not going to still continue to allocate money. So I dare say that if, for example, one corporation is getting 20 million in property tax and another is getting 15, you can count on central government making sure there's that balance and equity. But it doesn't mean that the whole budget is going to be the 20 million for each of them. You're still going to get money from central government allocated to you. But what you're now getting is more autonomy. The same way, the best example, and I've heard the Prime Minister refer to it, is the THA. We've seen the THA evolve since the early 80s. I think 84 was when the legislation came into place. And you've seen how they are now in charge with certain things. So the schools and the repair schools, that's the THA to do that. The employment of the nurses and the doctors in the RHA, the Tobago Regional Health Authority, that is for them to do. And it will be similar, I'm not saying the RHAs, but it will be similar in each of the regional corporations. Something as simple as now collecting the rubbish and those types of things. Also, there are provisions in the legislation, once we proclaim it, that have to have local content. So you see this thing like when you're going all over the country and somebody will say, boy, look, we have this contract here in Point Fortin, and they send men from Port of Spain or men in Port of Spain. We're doing some work in Port of Spain and people coming from Central or in Grandy and they're coming from Mayaro. No, it is find the workforce in your own area and you can employ the people in your own area. It gives you more autonomy along those lines. But to answer your question, there will be parity and equity in the fair distribution of funds. So some who are able to collect more property tax, they will get less from the consolidated fund and less from the central government, but others will not be left behind because that's not the only source of revenue.
A message came there with a very important question. So let's say after Monday, we have now 7 UNC councils, control councils, 7 PNM councils. Let's say it remains that way. Worst case scenario. The UNC has not been supporting local government on the platform. Now, I have videos here, which we will play in the next hour, of UNC sitting MPs saying they support local government. So I'll play that in the next hour for the benefit of the facts, right?
Understood.
But generally, they're not supporting it. The party, the political leader are not supporting it. What will be the scenario after the 14th in terms of the implementation across the board for reform in the legislation, in terms of ensuring that each corporation, whether you're PNM controlled or UNC controlled, carry out the mandate of reform and local government?
Let me answer that, Darian, by starting on this for everybody who is listening, who can vote. That is the importance of voting on Monday, the 14th of August. Because you see, coming out, what you're really doing is you're voting, do I really want my area that I live in and I operate in better managed? And if the answer to that is yes, then you know you have to vote for reform, because continuing in the same way is just madness. We now have the opportunity, if you, the electorate, come out and say, we want reform. So I want my roads properly upkept. I want my drains properly cleaned. I want the savanna that I exercise in properly maintained, and I'm going to hold my councillors responsible for it, where they have the ability to do the work. That is what you're voting for when you vote for the PNM on Monday. And now to answer your question, Darian, once the cabinet takes the decision after the results of Monday the 14th as to the proclamation of the local government reform, is the law. So every corporation has to abide by the law. The law has already been passed. So we're not going to Parliament to pass the law. It is now about proclamation of the law. And you would have heard the Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister, say that we were moving towards the reform. We were putting things in place. And then what happened is you had a decision by the Privy Council, a bare majority by one vote of a Privy Councillor. And the decision was, okay, well, on the 14th, if I remember, the 14th of May or the 18th of May, that is the day that everything stopped, and you have to have now a new council elected. So what you're seeing is that it will be the law depending on what the electorate decides. And people, I am pleading with you all today. Yes, I'm here as the chairman of the People's National Movement and the chairman of the PNM and a government minister and this type of thing. But ultimately, I always tell people, when you hold office, that is for a period of time. I am here as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And I want you all to really take a very careful listen and a look at what you're seeing being offered to us, the electorate and the population, and what really makes sense there. Because you see all the old talk and the screaming and the shouting about who have this and who do this and all that. That is not what we as a population want to hear. And you're hearing from the PNM, this is what we're offering you. We're offering you a better way of life because we're offering the councils and the corporations more autonomy to be able to service their burgesses, as Darian said.
I don't want to wait until the next hour. I don't know if you ever saw this or heard this, but we're going to play this. This is evidence of UNC members of parliament and chairmen of councils and so on giving a commitment about local government. The first person you'll hear is the member of parliament for Samoa, Barataria, Saddam Hussein. Play it from a guy. Listen, let's say you're
yet law at profession.
That's Saddam?
Firstly,
Saddam,
let me start off by saying that I do agree with the proposal of the reform of the local government sector in terms of the greater autonomy being afforded to the municipalities. With respect to the tax collections, I believe it's a good idea.
You have to support your party. You say you support country before party. Well, go to hell. Go to hell.
So, there's another one.
I just mentioned.
That's Henry Awong.
Still the chairman.
Political divide for local government reform.
I have a very great interest in what is happening, and I want to commend you on your presentation.
Suraj Rambachan.
Very clear, very visionary.
Former mayor of Shogunat.
And to say that, what the United National Congress or People's Partnership have as its vision for local government is not very different from what you have presented here. I'm very happy to hear you talk about the taxes and the fact that local government will be allowed to retain taxes.
Reform of the
UNC Mayor Shogunas, Gopal Buran.
is the pathway towards fulfillment of the covenant between the government and the people to mutually work towards the improvement of the quality of lives of all our citizens through the delivery of superior services and amenities, as well as comparative with the local needs and expectations. Essentially, local government is about empowering persons and communities to manage their affairs in accordance with the accepted democratic principles. Significantly, some of the core focal areas of local government reform should include structure of the local government, finance and taxes, human resource and productivity, the legislative reform, infrastructure and service delivery, community involvement, citizens' participation, and also importantly, participation of women and youths, health and the environment, technology and communication.
You have to support your party. You say you support country before party. Well, go to hell. Go to hell.
That was the UNC chairman of the Shogunas Corporation, Mr. Budan, in a nice discourse about what he thought of the, and he was present at one of the consultations. So was Dr. Mr. Suraj Rambachan and others, UNC members, giving their thoughts on what was presented to them because they attended the consultations. Chairman Young,
sir,
I want to end with this question in this hour. Monday, August the 14th, elections. The 15th of August, going forward, we have a problem in this country with we get promises from politicians, legislation, whatever, lots of talk, implementation, rollout. That is what the country want to hear about. How the promises we made them about autonomy for the corporation, better able to serve the communities, give them better service, in their homes, on their streets, in their communities. You want them to vote for that. What about the rollout after that?
Again, Darian, that's a good point. The legislation, as I said, is in place. Once a country votes for the local government reform and the implementation, it will be up to proclamation as the first step. At the end of the day, we're still going to require the corporations and the newly elected councils and councillors and aldermen to implement this thing, but they will have the law behind them. They will now be, if we go with the local government reform that we're asking the country to endorse and give us the mandate to go ahead with, it will now give them the autonomy because they will now be more of an executive council who can implement. Because I agree with you, one of the problems you face in this country very often is on the implementation side. And I've heard the Prime Minister up to yesterday, when he was opening the new Ministry of Health headquarters around the Savannah, talk sometimes about the frustration you have, because if those who have to implement decide they're not doing it, they kill you by 1,000 cuts, 1,000,000 cuts, and they just don't get it done. But now you will have the council with more autonomy to be able to direct, hopefully, the CEO and the public servant. They will have a higher level of authority to be able to do it. And I also want to make the point, it is not all of the public servants who frustrate the process. So what I'm asking, I mean, every single ministry I've had to operate in is all about relationships. How do you develop the relationships? And it's all about mutual respect. Mutual respect with the public servants and the relationships. How do you operate with people to get them motivated to work with you to get what is best? Just before we go to the news break, though, I want to tell the population, when I watched that video that Darian and Gary just showed us, it struck me that that is a constant. Because right now I am seeing on the political platform people who a few years ago were at each other's throats and saying the worst things about each other, and now they come back together and say, forget about that. And you, the population, need to think, are those really the type of leaders I want to lead my country? So you have a person standing up, and that galls me whenever I see it, to say, put party before country. That is one thing I could say without a shadow of a doubt or fear of contradiction, the PNM would not do. Because we take the difficult, and they're not easy decisions, we take the difficult decisions. And under Prime Minister Rowley, which is where I have operated at a cabinet level, everything is always about what is best for the country, what is going to be best for the people. And you hear him talk about it. It is better to take your own medicine than have somebody else's medicine forced down your throat. And when I see that type of behavior, so you have two MPs, Saddam Hussein is now an MP, you have Suraj Rambachan, who was an MP and a former mayor of Shogunas. And I was at those consultations, because when I first came in 2015, one of my assignments out of the Ministry of the Attorney General and Legal Affairs was to accompany the then Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Frankie Khan, God rest his soul, to go through those consultations. So I remember some of those engagements. And you have people, because they are local government practitioners, they know what they're talking about, saying, we need reform, and these are the reasons why we want reform. You heard Suraj say, look, these things are good. This is why it could work. And it is, and he actually said it is in line with what we, the UNC, also are looking at for reform. How you can now turn around and tell the population, hey, suck salt, that there for all you now, because the PNM bringing it. But at the end of the day, when you wake up in the morning and your garbage not collected, you ain't going to say, well, boy, that's the PNM fault or that's the UNC fault. You want to know that the council that you've elected has gotten the job done. And you have a party that throughout the campaign has been engaging you all on policy issues, has been engaging the population and trying to educate the population, as I'm trying to do this evening. This is what we have on offer. You're not here slandering people, making up lies, attacking people. No, these are the issues, because exactly as Darian said a short while ago, I want to hear on the 15th of August, the old talk and the breaker promises, etc. What are you going to do to change my life for the better? And that is what we've been offering.
And the text. Let's go to News Center 5 at 5. Our news presenter is here already, as usual, and we won't keep him back any further. So we go to News Center 5 at 5 with
the very talented, young, upcoming, he's here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kevin Garcia. Broadcasting from Port of Spain, Trinidad, this is the most influential name in radio, I-95.5. Live local coverage you can depend on. This is News Center 5 at 5.
25-year-old held in roadblock in Northern Division, allegedly with gun and ammunition. Study finds persons in the region who care for the disabled suffer with high stress. And bipolar woman in St. Vincent given 6 years sentence for strangling 83-year-old man. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Now with the news in detail, I am Kevin Garcia. A 25-year-old man is currently assisting police with their investigation into a firearm and a quantity of ammunition seized in the Northern Division. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service says during a roving roadblock exercise by officers of the Northern Division Task Force yesterday between the hours of 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. along the Arima Old Road, officers intercepted a vehicle based on information received. Reports say the officers brought the vehicle to a stop and carried out a search of the same. The TTPS says through the duration of the search, one Beretta PX4 Storm pistol with 17 rounds of 9mm ammunition was discovered and seized. The driver of Thomas Trace Aruka was arrested in connection with the find. The TTPS says in another incident, 2 stolen vehicles were recovered during Operation Blue Line exercises also yesterday. It says one green and black Suzuki Swift was recovered in the Silas area in relation to a report of robbery with violence yesterday. Also, a white-colored Toyota Axio was intercepted along the Lady Young Road, which was previously reported stolen. Investigations are ongoing into the above matters. A university study on people with disabilities reveals high levels of stress among caregivers. A statement by the Ministry of Social Development says the study was commissioned by the Caribbean Development Bank to assess the situation of people with disabilities in Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, Grenada, and Jamaica. It was undertaken by researchers at the University of the West Indies. Kyle Saunders reports.
The ministry says the data shows there are 52,244 persons with disabilities living in Trinidad and Tobago. The focus group discussions reveals that the pandemic has had a negative impact on people with disabilities and has significantly increased their vulnerability. Moreover, the report says the study highlighted the need to address the gaps spanning financial support and access to services for persons with disabilities. The research found that there is need for adequate physical infrastructure and health facilities, access to a range of psychosocial support, various levels of education, and additional options for educational advancement for children with disabilities. The study also outlined high levels of stress among caregivers, invisibility, voicelessness of people with disabilities, as well as concerns with timeliness, format, and frequency of communication between them and the providers of services. The ministry adds that consultative workshops will be held in collaboration with the UWI and the CDB to focus on the preliminary findings of this study during the period August 9th to the 11th. It says during these sessions, the researchers will propose some short, medium, and long-term solutions for the improvement in the quality of lives of people with disabilities. Reporting for News Center 5, I am Kyle Saunders.
The National Transformation Alliance candidate for Petty Valley Corporate, Russell Chan, says the people must act now as flooding and pollution worsens. Speaking with News Center 5 this morning, Mr. Chan highlighted the changes that must be made to infrastructure as residents are becoming frustrated, particularly in the Diego Martin River.
That area over the past 10 years, I've been assisting residents
in that area with flooding and so on for quite some time. These problems can be fixed, they can be addressed. We have systems that we can put there to slow down the water, to catch the silt by using silt traps. That bridge by Westmore needs to be looked at. Right now, as I passed there yesterday, it's been choked for a number of weeks. For that last downpour, it's still choked. And, these things will create a lot of problems for residents of the Diego Martin area.
Mr. Chan further stated his aim to bridge the gap between the lower and higher income areas. This comes in response to his observation of the alleged neglect that has been shown to poorer areas when more upper-class areas are in close proximity.
The more depressed areas, you have just total neglect of a lot of water leaks, just poor infrastructure. Like the roads are terrible, a lot of garbage, even the garbage collection points, there are no bins. So that is common throughout in the lower income areas. You don't see that in the upper income areas, just like sometimes just a minute away. So I'm trying to fix that, and I would like to see that addressed.
Mr. Chan will contest the seat for Pitti Valley Cokerete for the National Transformation Alliance, founded by Gary Griffith. And to some news now outside of Trinidad and Tobago, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a 27-year-old woman who strangled an 83-year-old man has been jailed for a total of 6 years and 8 months. The woman accused the deceased of touching her inappropriately as she showered. Justice Ricky Burnett imposed the sentence on Sheba Lenisha Charles, who had lived a nomadic life and has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. The incident is reported to have occurred while she stayed with the elderly man for about a week. Ms. Charles, who had spent 2 years, 8 months, and 7 days on remand, was initially charged with murder in connection with the November 26, 2020 death of Ulrich Adolphus Hutchinson, who, prior to taking Ms. Charles in, lived alone at his home in an area of Ashton Union Island known as Valley. However, there was a breakdown in the attorney-client relationship as Ms. Charles and her then lawyer Michael Willie seemed to not agree on whether she should continue with the trial or plead guilty to manslaughter as offered by the Crown. Ms. Charles asked the court to replace Willie with another lawyer under the legal aid arrangement, and Jomo Thomas was appointed to represent her. On May 15th, Ms. Charles pleaded guilty to manslaughter, and the court ordered a social inquiry report that showed that the accused spent the first few years of her life in Vermont before migrating to England with her father for 4 years. She then lived in Trinidad with an aunt for 2 years, but was sent back because of her deviant behavior. And that was the news to this time. I'm Kevin Garcia. As we go, here's another look at the headlines. 25-year-old held in roadblock in Northern Division, allegedly with gun and ammunition. Study finds persons in the region who care for the disabled suffer with high stress. And bipolar woman in St. Vincent given 6-year sentence for strangling 83-year-old man. I am Kevin Garcia. Thank you so much for staying with us. Our next Major News Center 5 can be heard this evening at 6 o'clock.
News Center 5, live local coverage you can depend on. I-95.5, the most influential name in radio.
When I trip for water, this the world. Trip for tutor, CPL. This Java with digital win ting. Welcome to 50 days of Java. 50 days to win plenty. 50 days of Java. When ice skating and modeling. Like free costumes, tribe or humor. PlayStation 5, yeah, you could win that with 50 days of Java. Win more with Digicel, yeah.
Win big with Digicel's 50 Days of Java promotion. Dial *323# or check the My Digicel app to find out more. Digicel, better connected.
Are you ready, Trinbago? The countdown is on for the Commonwealth Youth Games 2023. See over 1,000 athletes from 70 countries competing in 7 sporting disciplines from August 4th to the 11th. Let's come out and support. Let's rep for our team. Let's go, Trinbago. Tickets are available at tickets.com. That's TIKKETS.com. For the love of sport, I choose sport.
Need parking? Secure your spot today. Parking available at the San Fernando Parkade is coming soon. The San Fernando Parkade is a new state-of-the-art parking facility located at the waterfront. It's a safe, secure facility with easy 24/7 access, on-site friendly personnel, daily and monthly parking available with rates starting as low as $8 per hour. It's convenient parking for you. Visit udcart.com to sign up now.
Hey, Pops, remember when I was learning to swim at 5 and you told me there was nothing to fear?
Yeah, you were screaming to get out the pool.
Well, it's just like First Citizens online banking. There's nothing to fear. It has first-class security to protect your information. You get alerts to verify every transaction. And you can always double-check every online transaction before you confirm.
I'm not so sure. I mean, this is money we're talking about.
I always trusted your advice, Dad. You can trust mine now.
Okay, I'll sign up.
First Citizens Easy Banking makes your everyday banking so much easier. Visit firstcitizensgroup.com to get started. First Citizens, we put you first.
This is the voice of the PNM. On Tuesday, August 8th, Sangre Grande, meet us at Guayco Secondary School. Let's have a conversation about reform. All are invited.
The doctor says PNM, reform is the way. PNM.
Our political leader and Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley will be there to have a conversation with you on how this reform is a power shift from central government to your councillors. Let's talk about this power shift, ask your questions, and learn how reform empowers you and your community. Join us August 8th, Sangre Grande. Conversation starts at 7 p.m. Tune in live on all major TV and radio stations and PNM's social media platforms. On August 14th, make the right choice. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
That was a paid announcement.
There's nothing like starting your day off on the right foot. So let's get you started. Join us for early morning devotions and inspiration hosted by the Cure Pentecostal Church. That's Thursday mornings, 5 o'clock. Get an hour filled with prayer and hearing from God's word. Make it a great day with Cure Pentecostal.
Jesus Christ alone.
The biggest party in sport is back for 2023.
Yes!
CPL and WCPL return with more action than ever before.
Brilliantly taken!
Support TKR, including their stars Andre Russell, Deandra Dalton, and the returning Dwayne Bravo.
Are you kidding?
Games are between the 5th and 10th of September. Get your tickets now at cplt20.com.
Oh, goodness.
Join the party. Experience cricket played louder.
Wake up to more morning smiles and more time to hit the ground running. Alive multivitamins help build a foundation for your health, plus deliver more vitamins and minerals than leading brands. So you can do more of what keeps you feeling alive and thriving.
Come show your support at Joie de Vie for our sister in entertainment, Carla Gonzalez, as she faces medical challenges. Enjoy a night of incredibly eclectic musical genres with Vonnet Bigfoot, Theron Shaw, Carl Beaver Henderson, Heather McIntosh, Dean Williams, Leandra, First Class, Prophet Benjamin, Charmaine Ford, Three Canal, and all of their friends. Queen's Hall, Friday, September the 1st. Tickets $300. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Joie Joie de Vie for the love of Carla Gonzalez.
Tickets available at Crosby, St. James, Kenny Sports, Port of Spain, West Mall and Trinity Mall, Queens Hall, Mott's Liquor Palace, Diego Martin, and online at islandetickets.com. On the occasion of the United Nations Declaration of World Steel Band Day on August 11th, join I-95.5 FM as we celebrate our national instrument. From August 7th to 11th, listen to the I as we bring the steel band to you, the history and the music. Let's commemorate World Steel Band Day on August 11th as it becomes a world instrument and observed by the United Nations. So join I-95.5 FM from August 7th to 11th as we recognize this proud moment in our nation's history. World Steel Band Day. Brought to you by Tourism Trinidad Limited. Hashtag Visit Trinidad.
This is the time. Rally me up in this. Reform is the power shield. It's time to climb. One blood, one team, one voice. August 14, one choice. Big blood, thicker than water, stronger than water, stronger together. Big blood, big blood. Let me tell them about big blood. Yeah, big blood. Local reform is power. Sangre Grande be taking the power. City to country be taking the power. It's about time all our we get the power. Come on and go. This is the time. Although they calling we name up Sangre Grande, we don't take no chain of false pretenders. They cash it. We focus for the red army. We finger go say no.
On August 14th, make the right choice. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
That was a paid political advertisement.
TNT, we are back. I-95.5 FM, Red 96.7 FM, and W107.1 FM is giving back the September payback. Cash and prizes to be won. This is it. September payback is coming. Stay tuned. This is the 95 Afternoon Drive with Darian Marcel on the I.
Right, so we are back, and I want to thank all of you for staying tuned, and for those who just joined us, I have as my guest the chairman of the People's National Movement, the chairman, Mr. Stuart Young, and I'm happy to have him. But before we continue this interview, I keep saying to my friends on the World Wide Web, on Facebook, there will be those who will disagree with you, have their own views. They will not even support the party that you support, especially in this election period. And they will come and engage in all kind of stupidness. And you taking the time to respond to them, and you're missing information that is being shared here with you. And that's the designer. The intention is to take your mind off of the discussion here. So I want to implore you. The people are entitled to have a view, respect that. But you are entitled to stay focused on the facts that are being shared here so that you have a better understanding of what the PNM is offering and why you should go out on Monday and vote for reform. Because you have questions. We're trying to get those questions answered. Right? So you stay focused. Stay focused. Let people say what they have to say, how they want to say it. That is okay. They're entitled to do that. Just stay focused, right? Mr. Young, Chairman, I want to go back a bit because I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the rollout. I'm concerned. You know, you end your comment earlier with something that made me feel good. And that was the benefits to you, to me, the householder who living on the street, who have garbage to collect, who have roads to fix, grass to cut, rodents to see. Right now, where in my community, we have an infestation of the African snails. Yeah?
Mhm.
It's bad. Some people don't know how to treat it. You will want the corporation to be empowered. Now, currently, regional corporations, when they get their allocation, 90% of their money is salaries and recurrent expenditure. Very little for capital projects, drain, a retaining wall that might save somebody's house, steps for the old people who living on a hill,
The
and with a
handrails,
handle
correct.
to go up and
Correct.
come down safely.
Correct.
Them kind of things. I was a local government representative for 7 years in Diego Martin Regional Corporation. I know how challenges it didn't change much. But this is something we discussed since then. What do you call it? Municipal police.
Correct.
And litter wardens because of the illegal dumping all over Trinidad and Tobago. Public health inspectors to come and check things. Building inspectors to make sure that you construct your house safely and you don't do illegal constructions. All of those things. We tired go through these conversations. So what your government is offering is to change this and let these people aspirations of local government materialize. Because you can't send somebody, you have to wait to get a lawyer to send somebody at show cause notice who billing illegally and you don't have power to do nothing. And when you understand?
Correct.
So we want, so what you all have been offering is local government reform that intends to rectify all of this. But will it really happen?
You know, Darian, there's no magic wand. There's no one pill that we're going to take that's going to solve all of this, right? So as I listen to you, I understand the system. I understand how frustrating it is. So what this local government reform is about is taking us in the right direction, moving us from the talk, because there's years, everybody you talk to in local government, you serve 7 years there, will tell you, look, from the days when Mrs. Hazel Manning was looking at local government reform and is bringing that forward, and it's never happened. Now is the time. We just have to take the leap. We just have to do it, and you have to force and push. So if you have an executive council, we're now akin more to the THA and the way their secretaries operate, that they have executive authority and they're not just at a lower level, and the public servants, the CEO, etc., or even the engineers. I hear it all the time. You know, it could be the engineer in a corporation. You just talked about the Roland situation, so it could be the public health inspectors. If you have somebody now with more executive authority, where they could say, listen, I am holding you, Stuart Young, accountable. Your job is to go out there and to make sure the people selling the food down by the market have their corporation badges, etc., and walk with the municipal police officers who we here and who are the employee. You all know in our last term, 15 to 20, we started the course of action of making sure that we employed over 1,000 new municipal police. I think right now we're up to about 800 and something. So public health officer, you go down there now with the police in tow as your support, and you all issue the tickets. You all make sure that the law is being followed. And they know they have to listen to you now. They know they have to listen to Councillor Darian Marcel, because he now has more executive authority and you're accountable to him the same way the THA is. So when you look at how the THA secretaries are operating, as I say, that is the best analogy of what we're hoping to achieve with local government reform.
I'm happy to hear that, because, and I really, you see, it will make an almost instant difference in the quality of life.
Absolutely.
For people. Now, when I say instant, I don't mean on the 15th.
No.
I
but
mean,
it will be coming along, Darren. We would have
that's
started
the point.
Let me tell you, I am a member of parliament. I get frustrated sometimes. And in my constituency, I have to deal with two corporations, the Port of Spain City Corporation and the Sawa Laventil Corporation. And when I have constituents reaching out to me, for example, illegal structures they see going up, I, as a member of parliament, as a minister, I don't have the power. But when I go to the law, it is a municipal corporation that can issue the same notice you just spoke about, the cease and desist. So I am pleading now with the corporation, please send the engineer or whoever it is, down to where we see the illegal construction starting, to issue a cease and desist that has the power of law. And then now we will make sure that they have sufficient resources, and they need to get the lawyers, etc. So they can now take them to court. They can now demolish and these types of things. But we don't have the power to do that. And that is just but one example. Again, the municipal police. The idea behind municipal police is not that they're like market police or old time, Municipal police have almost 100% of the police powers that the regular TTPS have, except they have a jurisdiction. And it just makes more sense. When you go to the United States, use Washington, D.C. as a good example. When I made all those trips to Washington, D.C. last year, you have state police, you have Capitol Police, you have police in a specific area. When you're in Miami, you see Miami-Dade County Police. You go into another counties, another set of,
that's correct.
And that means they have the responsibility and the to maintain their jurisdiction. And that's what municipal police are supposed to do. So the Queen's Park Savannah, it is the Port of Spain City Corporation Police that will go down there, maintain law and order, and these types of things. In East Port of Spain is the same thing. And this is where we need to incorporate and give them more of the responsibility. And now you're giving, if you elect for local government reform, which we are asking you to do, because we are sitting down there and we are seeing, as we saw in that video a short while ago, even the UNC people who have served in local government and continue to serve will tell you, if they are honest, that this is the step in the right direction, because it gives them the autonomy and the power they need to change our daily lives.
Mr. Allen is asking if you'll be able to tell the difference between the municipal police and regular police. And I want to answer you this way. If you go to the Port of Spain Corporation, downstairs town hall, they have the Port of Spain Municipal Police there. They are attired similar to the police, but you see special reserve or municipal police on their badges.
You will see the municipal
They will see
police.
the badges, correct, which will speak to the difference. And that is what you have to look out for. They won't be all different color uniforms all over the country looking like a band, as a carnival band. They'll be just like police. They're in the colors of the police, but they're badges. And you'll be familiar. You will be familiar, because we can't answer that. We can't answer that. Each corporation where you live will signal to the region where they operate which number to call the municipal police. My next question is, over the years in local government, there's not normally a high voter turnout. And PNM people, let's do a number of things. This election not important. I ain't going out and vote. I don't like what Rowley said the other day. I ain't going out and vote. What is got? Is that PNM and what? A vex. What will you, in light of what you are advocating, in terms of the importance of this local government reform for the benefit of the citizens, how are you going to get your voters out?
What I have been trying to do personally is go out as far and as wide as possible and engage with people. And, Darian, the truth is, you engage, you might have 1 out of every 10 tell you exactly what you have just expressed. All I could say is that we the people, are responsible for our own destiny. And it is up to us. This is a time where we really, really, really have to make the sacrifice. If it is a sacrifice, a personal one, and make sure you go out and vote on Monday the 14th. And to all of the PNM members out there, we have heard you. I personally hear you, and I continue to hear you. I am asking each and every one of you, because you all have very, very important roles to play. You are supposed to be the leaders in your community. You are the ones who stand up for decency and what is right. You are the ones who have put your party in power to make the changes, but we cannot do it alone. I keep trying to remind colleagues, we only are here because of you and your vote. You are the most important thing. So we need you to go out, and we need you to send that signal, that mandate that this is something we want. And after that, it's up to you to continue to demand that we do our jobs and the councillors do their job when you've elected them in. But to stay home and to say, boy, our local government election not important, with the greatest of respect, that car worked this time. We've always had traditionally a low turnout. In some years, you have a a much higher turnout. In 2013, when the wave started, you had a very good turnout. You had it again in 2016, a good turnout. Let us try and increase the turnout, because let me tell you something, people. You see these videos we've been seeing and what you've been hearing on platforms and stuff, it is literally frightening. And we have to send a signal that we, because I always say we are not stupid, and that these people want to hold themselves out for leader, to lead us and to lead our children going forward. We not on that. You can't come with forked tongue and tell me something today and then tomorrow change your whole tune when it's something fundamental. We make mistakes, but none of those things are mistakes. When I see some of the behavior of these people on stages and how they're mocking and they're personalizing and attacking, is that what we want? That's the example we want to set for our children? Yes, we all recognize one of the issues you're hearing about and we are all conscious about is crime and criminality. But ask yourself, these people who are holding themselves out as some sort of panacea of crime and criminality, are they not themselves in that category of people? I mean, we had a week ago something take place in the energy sector. Allow me to digress a little bit into the energy sector, where I operate as a Minister of Energy. We have certain upstream producers, meaning companies that are multinational, meaning they come from outside of Trinidad and they're recognized globally because they have operations globally. They're the ones who exploit our resources. They spend the money to drill the wells, to produce the gas. One of the largest ones in the world that we have spent a lot of time and energy as a government, Woodside, based in Australia, that bought over BHP. I personally, with the Prime Minister's blessings, have met with their CEO physically 3 or 4 times, including a few weeks ago in Vancouver. One of the reasons I went to Vancouver was to meet with Ms. Meg O'Neill, because they are so important. And they don't know about Trinidad initially, you know. So when they purchased BHP, they could have gotten rid of Trinidad as they were getting rid of certain other assets. And they will tell you it is because of our, at the government level, engagement with them and the personal interaction that they stood up and started to listen. So I went, met with Ms. O'Neill, trying to get the development of our deep water gas. And it is going to happen. Her people under her have said, you know, we don't know what you said, you know, Minister, but as soon as you finish those meetings with Meg, immediately she gave the instructions, let us push it quicker. So Woodside has a problem, a safety issue offshore that they had to shut in lest it becomes something disastrous. And whilst we're addressing that and Woodside are feeding us the information and we're preparing the statements to put out, typical UNC behavior where they are the ones responsible for the difficulties that we're in now with lower production, awful contracts, etc. You have one of them, the chief whip for the UNC, jump out to mislead the population and to try and celebrate what is something that is not good for the population, but it's not something that the government has any control over. I can't go on a Woodside platform and turn on a valve or turn off a valve. I have to work with them to facilitate, to make sure things are being done, to keep encouraging them, to listen to them and these types of things. Wherever we could assist, we assist. And they want to celebrate and start to talk disaster. And I want to tell him, and the next one, Wade Mark, these people who know nothing about the energy sector, because I heard him asking for me to respond whether there are any claims coming out of the shortage of gas last week. And people of Trinidad and Tobago, I am proud to tell you all today that there is not a single claim that is being made against the state for all those shortfalls of gas last week. And you know why? Because we renegotiated every single contract. So now we have made sure in the contracts, when there's no gas upstream, the downstream companies in the petrochemicals cannot turn around and sue the state. You know what happened to us between 2010 and 2015? We came into power in 2015 and met $9 billion in claims because of the UNC shortages of gas and that they did not do anything with the contracts. And they hid that from the population. So to answer the UNC and the misinformation, in the energy sector, we renegotiated all of those contracts. And I'm proud to say, protected us, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, that there is not a single claim that will be made against the NGC for that shortfall of gas, because we made sure that the contracts protect the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And that's the type of misinformation you deal with. But we have to be able to operate and operate in a sober manner, a mature manner, in a manner where we can engage these multinational oil and gas companies who are very sophisticated and be respected. And I'm also proud about that anywhere you go, those companies will tell you the type of interaction they've had with your government since 2015 to now. As difficult as it is at times, they respect us.
You remember one of this so-called economist, former minister, bright fella, know everything, could answer every question on any topic you ask him, expert and everything, said that Dr. Rowley going out to meet with Shell and BP and Exxon and those companies and tell them, as he said, he wanted more for his shareholders as they wanted for theirs. His shareholders being the citizens. And that gentleman sat probably here or somewhere and told that that's not possible. They're not going to take us on, going to laugh us out of the boardroom.
Let me tell you all something. I spoke earlier about one of the legacies of Keith Rowley as political leader and prime minister of this country is young people. Another one will be the leadership he provided in the energy sector at a difficult time when our resources, by definition, are declining. When he did that, Darian, and led the charge to say, hey, you have shareholders you need to provide profits for, but I have shareholders. My shareholders are the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I need to provide sufficient returns. And he then goes on to say, there's enough pie for us to share. You get your equity, but my people have to get equity. Exactly as you said, they all scream, naysayers, that we're going to collapse Point Lisa. All of the businesses are going to pull out of Trinidad and Tobago. Why Rowley and Young traveling all over the world? Why they're going to The Hague to meet with Shell, London to meet with BP. When we went to Australia, we met with BHP. Every single one of those visits and interactions have led to betterment for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I could stand here today and tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago without fear of contradiction, the work that we did in those discussions, etc., and renegotiations with just two of the oil and gas companies that operate in Trinidad and Tobago, we have gotten over $15 billion since 2019, late 2019, the last quarter, to today's date, over $15 billion that we would not have gotten. So that's $15 billion extra that we would have never have gotten, in addition to settling the $9 billion in claims. In addition to all of these things, during very difficult times, we have renegotiated better terms for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and they respect us. I can tell you now, they have a real respect for us.
You know, I just read a message there by some fella called Mark Roberts. Y'all don't share nothing with we. You don't get nothing. And I don't know they understand that those negotiations and whatever revenue coming in is what was used to see us through the COVID period, when people were losing their lives around the world, where we had to keep all public servants paid and unemployed. I'm not sure people understand what this government did during that 2 years of COVID, when many other countries in the world were gasping for it.
Darian, I heard Dr. Rowley say several times in the past few weeks, and he's right. This had to have been one of the most difficult periods to be in government in Trinidad and Tobago. You see that COVID period, not a single public servant can say they lost their job, or there was any decrease in their salary, or their salary came a day late. To achieve that is phenomenal, because I remember within a few months of COVID, another one of our CARICOM sister islands, not too far from here, and it was more than one, the news came across that they were cutting public servant salaries by 25%, and that if things didn't get better, the following month they'll be laying people off. And that was going on all over the place. Trinidad and Tobago doesn't have the ability, like some of these developed countries, United States, Europe, England, to print a currency, you know. So we worked hard to make these, and to say we haven't gotten the benefits is not true. During the COVID period, you could go on, you could still fill up your car with gas. We still had to pay for the fuel. During the COVID period, we kept the energy sector alive throughout. There was not a day that we were not. I was Minister of National Security, and it was a priority given to me by the Prime Minister. Make sure the energy sector continues to run. We were allowing cruise ships in, we were allowing planes in, quarantining the workers to get them out in the crew, kept the drilling programs going and all these, and that is so we could pay the teachers. So the teachers who weren't going to school and may have been schooling our children online because that is what the health and safety required, all of them continue to be paid. Our police officers continue to be paid. The sanitation workers who it was critical, they worked every day of the COVID pandemic to pick up the rubbish to keep us healthy. Those people were paid. Everybody, Ministry of Works, and these types of things.
And the social programs, pensions.
Everybody got a pension on time.
Everybody who want government grants.
Well, additional to that, we took decisions to help the farmers by doing what? Buying the produce of the farmers, producing fresh hampers to get to the citizens who needed it. I remember as national security working with the defense forces say, listen, if things get rough, we need to be able to get the food to people. And we started planning the logistics. So it's not true to say that you didn't get anything, any money. If we didn't have that revenue, we would have been like many other countries in the world. And I can tell you, when you meet with these leaders, how difficult it is for them. We went through some very difficult times. And the fact that everybody was able to keep, like, just to get the vaccines, the fights and the battles we had to do for global equity to get those vaccines. And we were in a position we could pay for the vaccines, whereas other countries in the world were not in that luxurious position. And that is because of the hard work.
And all the support the government gave to small and micro
Correct.
businesses.
We gave out grants to keep businesses going. We agreed to forego taxes for periods of time. All of these are the types of things. So, I could understand, because I understand when you're going through difficult times, you could only see very often what is happening to yourself and you have to keep your family whole, etc. But I can tell you people that thank God it was a PNM government in place at the time, because no matter how difficult it got, and it was very difficult, we kept making the right decisions, the sober decisions. Just today, I was speaking to one of the top medical practitioners in Trinidad, and that was the comment he made. He said, I want to tell you something as a medical professional, what I saw, and he's not a party supporter, what I saw the government do during that period of time, whilst you're being attacked, because remember, we were being sued every day for something different in the decisions we were taking to manage COVID. So people, I understand that it's very easy to forget those difficult times and to say, boy, what the government doing for me, doing enough, and these types of things. But that is not true. And I can tell you as well, we continue to make the decisions that it is better to spread it to many than to focus on just a few. So when you think you don't have enough, that is because we're making sure that the neighbor next door also has. And these are the types of decisions we're making.
Let me ask you a question. You spoke to PNM people. PNM support, PNM people. But we know there are people who say they're on the fence. They say they're neither PNM nor UNC or anything. They're on the fence and they will vote depending on the message and the thing. What would you say to those people? Because like this local government, so it's not a general election, as we say, we understand. What do you have to say to those people to get them to come out and vote at this point in time? What are you offering them?
This is a very important time in our country's history. All right. So my message to those people is, if you are really interested in the things that affect you in your neighborhoods, affect your children in their school, affect you in your work environment, meaning because when you get to your office, somebody had to be maintaining the infrastructure around your office, the pavement, the road in front of your office, and everybody's office is in a corporation in Trinidad. Every single one of us have a responsibility and a duty to make a decision on August 14th, which is Monday coming. Do I want my local environment to be better in the next few months as we start to build going forward in the future, or am I prepared to leave it as it is? And then the next thing I ask that you consider is because you may not have been observing, because I could understand is a turn off, because it's a turn off to me sometimes when I see the behavior taking place at some of these meetings, in particular of a particular side. You ask yourself, who do I really want to put in charge to carry this country forward for my children and my grandchildren? because those are the decisions we have to make. Why do I stay in this? Because I am worried about the future if it is that sober decisions are not being made. Do you need to come out and vote? The answer is absolutely yes. You look at what's going around in other countries of the world where people no longer have the opportunity to vote in the areas they're supposed to vote in. You're seeing voter suppression, you're seeing all sorts of behavior. But right here in Trinidad and Tobago, you want to make sure that your rubbish is picked up properly by a local contractor. You want to make sure that your roads are properly maintained, the park that you go to exercise in, the grass is cut, the mosquitoes are sprayed for, that the, as you said, Darian, the snails in some areas. I got a video today from Point 14 of snakes and this type of thing, because certain areas are not being properly maintained. That will now fall upon the corporation, and they'll be given the power to deal with it. So these are the decisions that need to be taken. And also, as I was making the point, you decide from the behavior you've seen of those who putting themselves forward for leadership, and the sort of old talk and the personalized attacks. Is that what I want? Is that what I want for my children's future? Or you have some on the other side, and in particular the government and the PNM, putting forward policies, putting forward, this is the legislation we're going to proclaim, this is how we're going to make it better, this is how there's going to be accountability, this is how we're going to collect property tax to help you in your area. But don't worry, it's not only going to be property tax, it is going to be a system that is more akin to the THA in Tobago than the disjointed system now, where everybody has to go back to the ministry at Kent House for permission, etc., as opposed to how THA runs itself, albeit maybe not within recent times, but at least they have the autonomy to be able to do it. And those are the simple decisions. And I have never been one to believe, sit on your couch and complain, and things would change. One thing we all have, once you're above the age of 18 to do, is the power to vote and to decide who is going to govern your country. And Monday is all about my local environment, every step of the way, and what is going to be better for that in the future. And that is what we have to do as citizens. To the PNM people, I am pleading with you all. Don't take it for granted, as we've done in the past, unfortunately. You know, say, boy, I don't need to vote for that. You know, this is a PNM corporation. They don't need. No, that is not true. More now than ever before, we need to send a strong signal that this is a mandate for policies. The PNM has put forward policies. The PNM has not engaged in attacks and personalized attacks and old talk and stuff. You want policies? These are the decisions. This is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to implement it. And we need you all to come out. Every party group, every area manager, you all have a role to play. I always said when I was campaigning to be the chairman of this party, Darian, and I sat right here in this studio, every single member of the PNM is important and everyone has a role. Chairman today, chairman tomorrow, but you're still a member. And how can I contribute? Because this is the Eric Williams party. And the PNM are the ones who gave us education. The PNM are the ones who gave us our healthcare system. The PNM ones who took us not only from a secondary school education, you can now get tertiary education. There's early childhood care, all of these things. And don't take those things for granted, because I tell you, in other countries very close by, people don't have those opportunities. I also saw something last night, an attack on the media and the press by a leader saying, buy this one, don't buy this one, etc. That is not the type of behavior we want. As when you're in the political arena, it is difficult. You're attacked, you're slandered, you're defamed, etc. But you don't lash back out. It is not to say that very often I see things that are unfair to me and being published, and they're not true. There's no element of truth in it whatsoever. But you will never hear me come out and say, don't listen to Darian Marcel program. In fact, Darian, that's a good example. I was away last year sometime, and Darian Marcel said something on his program, and people messaged me away and sent me the voice note of Darian Marcel asking about Stuart Young, etc. Me get vexed. Darian entitled his view. I reached out to Darian and said, Darian, I heard what you said. This is something I'd like to engage you more in, and therein is the respect, and that is how you go about it. So people, this is what is on offer, but most importantly, we're asking for your mandate to proceed with local government reform that is going to help you in your own local environment. We all have it. We all have to drive out our driveway or walk to the main road, to get the taxi, etc. And we see in our own local areas, somebody sitting in Port of Spain not going to know what's going down in Cedrus, in Point Fortin, down in Mayaro, up in Toko, and these types of things, in Chaguanas, in Port of Spain itself, in various areas, etc., in Diego Martin, along the whole East-West corridor. This is your opportunity for us to move the country. There are certain decisions that are made in our country's history, and August 14th is one in local government reform, because let us get the mandate to finally move to that autonomy.
Let's take some quick calls. Call us at 622-3937. We don't have much time. I thought it was important to the chairman to talk to you and you hear from him. Let's hear from you quickly. Be brief. Let's take your calls at 622-3937. Be brief so you want as many people to call in as possible. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Marcel. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, my member of parliament, Minister Stuart Young.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
I'm trying to give my endorsement, and I am committed to the cause because the only logical party in this country to take us for the morass, as the people have said, is the People's National Movement. So people go out and vote convincingly on August the 14th. People's National Movement. Have a blessed one.
Thank you. Let's take another call. Good afternoon.
All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Minister. Good afternoon, Darian.
Afternoon, sir.
Minister, there was a comment that I heard that the property tax, that if someone has a garage, a welding shop, a tradesman or a parlor within its place, they will have to pay more in the property tax in their region. I would like you to address that. A mischief maker was saying that you have a straightening and beating garage or mechanic shop or a parlor in your premises, or we would, if they will have to pay more property tax.
There are specific formulas in the law as to the calculation of property tax. A dwelling house would attract a different property tax based on an annual rental value and a small proportion of that. If it is a business place that you have, there's also a different element of property tax for business places. I think in the first instance, we're focusing on the residential areas and building out the rules. So in an instance like that, it would really come down to what is the definition of the property and the premises, what is being used for, etc. It does not naturally equate to necessarily being more.
Thanks for your call. Let's take another call. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Afternoon, sir.
And you people have a saying that they say, where you see in the day, you don't take candle to look for it at night. Right? We have been seeing all of these things. We know people don't care about country. There are people here who don't care about country. They would rather see this country in the dust, and they will live in the dust because they don't care about this country. All they care about power. And we see this, as I say, we see this all the time. Why would people still vote for these people in this country? It bothers me.
Also, it bothers me as well. I could tell you that, I really, really, really care about this country. And we, the right-thinking and civic-minded citizens, have to do what is right for our country. And you're seeing it. So you're seeing the risk, you're seeing the danger, you're seeing those elements of what are wrong putting themselves and coming at us. It is up to us on the 14th of August to send a clear message. This is our country. This is my corporation. This is my neighborhood. This is my environment. And I will do what is right for my area.
Let's take another call quickly. Good afternoon and welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Right. Good afternoon, Minister.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, sir.
What I want to find out, as the property tax, if you is a pensioner, what is the difference when you have to pay and you have a dwelling house? That is my take on it.
Okay, as I said, there's a formula to calculate for the dwelling house, etc. So the same way we would all use to pay our land and building tax, and you had to pay that regardless of whether you're a pensioner or not, that will continue. So it will come down to there's no special dispensation necessarily for pensioners. But what I can tell you, there's a provision in the law that if it is that you're unable to make the payment as a result of your means, there's a specific provision that you could ask for dispensation or less, and you make your application and it'll be assessed, etc. But not just automatically because you're a pensioner, you won't have to pay whatever is the assessment of the property tax for your property.
Thanks for your call. Let's take another call. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Darian.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
And Mr. Young.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Darian and Mr. Young, you know what irks me? I lived in Canada, and people from down here, they paying their taxes for their homes and things like that. And the taxes are higher up there than down here. And I don't understand why our people, behaving in this manner to pay some tax, just a few dollars, not much. And they talk and they lie and set in more than that. You see, this country and all who following others that are doing nonsense and taking stupid advice, especially this Tobago here, let Tobago get out of the present situation that is in right now. And let me tell you all something. You see, the people in Tobago, most of us, we will eat the bread the devil needs, because the nonsense that is taking place right here now in Tobago, it is sad, 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 sad. And following Tom, Dick, and Harry with all kinds of nonsense and behaving like fools. I go on.
Thanks for your call. Somebody asked if Tobago will be affected by this legislation. Tobago is the example of the legislation. So Tobago already have their own thing in place.
Yes,
question, what about taxes for Tobago? They'll be collecting their own taxes.
Correct. Well,
that hasn't started as yet.
With property. That's
So
with the promulgation
so
of
it's
property tax.
only when
Property tax is not directly related to the local government specific legislation, the Municipal Corporations Act. But property tax, we are proceeding with it. Right now, the Ministry of Finance is in charge of making sure something called the rules have sufficient properties valued on the rules to be able to continue with the tax. And the government's policy and intention is the tax collected from that will go to the local government corporations, and in the case of Tobago, will go to the THA.
So Tobago is not left out.
No, not from the taxation regime at all. No.
Let's take our final call. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon.
Gentlemen, good afternoon to you both.
Good afternoon, sir.
Mr. Minister, good afternoon to you, sir. You said that, or I heard people say that this is not a general election, but yet we are only hearing from MPs. How come it is on both sides we are not hearing from the people who's supposed to be representing us in the local scheme of things? And every political meeting, be it the PNM or the UNC, we see the MPs on the platform as if it's a general election. Tell me that, sir.
Okay, that I don't know where you're looking, but that's not quite accurate, in particular on our side. What we have been doing, and I know is happening as a fact because I've been at quite a few of them. I mean, this Thursday, for example, in the Port of Spain Corporation, we're having another one. We're having localized meetings where the candidates, the local government candidates who are going up for councillors, are addressing directly their burgesses. What you're seeing on national platforms and even on the PNM's national platforms, they always had candidates speaking as well. But ultimately, the PNM is the government. And one of the things that needs to be told, as I've been trying to do this evening, is from a government perspective, this is our policy for local government reform. This is what it means. So we are the ones saying it, but I can guarantee you in the 14 corporations throughout Trinidad, because as the chairman, I get a lot of the feedback, a lot of the videos, a lot of the photographs. Every night they're cottage meetings and what we call spot meetings. And also we have been having localized meetings. I spoke at the Harp a few weeks ago in Port of Spain. On Thursday night, I'll be speaking at Pigot's Corner. I know tonight there are meetings taking place all over the country in the various corporations where the councillors are the ones carrying the meeting and talking to their burgesses.
Yeah, the ones that are coming public is where the Prime Minister, the political leaders talking and talking about policy. But there are a number of small
all
meetings in every crook and cranny throughout
everywhere,
where the local candidates.
I did one in Point Fortin. They're happening all over. And I am saying this is not about me when I go in those areas. It is about the candidates. You tell the people you want to be your burgesses what it is you have on offer.
Chairman Stuart, we've come to the end of our program.
Thank
for
you
this
all very
afternoon.
much. The time flew.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having you. I'm happy with the information you shared. You brought some clarity for me on issue concerns I had, questions I had about local government reform, how it benefits me, as I said, how it's going to affect me in my community. So I'm very happy for that. I want to thank you very much for sharing the time with us, taking time as chairman of the party to come and speak to us about these issues. I want to thank you so very much. Let me wish you all the best. Thanks again for coming. Gary, thanks. We've come to the end of our program and our working week. I am back tomorrow. Tomorrow we have the general secretary of the party, but there's an issue in that I've been hearing one of my good friends started with him, David Mohammed, on a newscast saying that the PNM is not doing anything for young people. See people sharing that information anywhere. And the government has put a whole ministry of
correct,
youth
for the first time.
For the first time.
Correct.
And this minister, Mr. Foster Cummings, has been doing an excellent job in rolling out programs. So he's been here tomorrow.
Cummings will deal with that because that is certainly not the truth. And our programs are directed at all of the youth in Trinidad because we recognize not everybody is academically inclined. So we're making sure that there are opportunities for everybody. Minister Foster Cummings will.
Yeah. So look out for that. He's coming from 3:30 tomorrow, 3:15. So tune in and you'll get lots of information that you probably didn't have.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good one, folks.
And please vote on the 14th of August.
Correct. We go to News Center 5 at 6 with our after he take a 3-month vacation, our deputy head of news, and stand-up 10 two-time champion and all of that, Mr. Sterling Henderson. Thomas.
Broadcasting from Port of Spain, Trinidad, this is the most influential name in radio, I-95.5. Live local coverage you can depend on. This is News Center 5 at 6.
Vote for improvement, vote for local government reform. The encouragement of Minister Stuart Young. UNC demands EBC allows it to access of counting of special voter ballots. A suspected suicide in Penal. And Marseille, police officers arrested over death during riot. Good evening, I'm Sterling Henderson with the news to 6 o'clock. The People's National Movement says a vote for local government reform is a vote for better communities and service delivery. It has been the mantra of the party that the issue of importance in the local government elections carded for August 14th is reform of the sector. Chairman and Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs and Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Stuart Young, guested on the afternoon drive today. He said reform is about improvement.
That is the importance of voting on Monday, the 14th of August. Because you see, coming out, what you're really doing is you're voting, do I really want my area that I live in and I operate in better managed? And if the answer to that is yes, then you know you have to vote for reform, because continuing in the same way is just madness. We now have the opportunity, if you, the electorate, come out and say, we want reforms, or I want my roads properly upkept, I want my drains properly cleaned, I want the savannah that I exercise in properly maintained, and I'm going to hold my councillors responsible for it, where they have the ability to do the work. That is what you're voting for when you vote for the PNM on Monday.
Mr. Young said the government will have the law proclaimed after the election. It has already been passed. He said while he is a party official, as a citizen, he believes in the reform.
Ultimately, I always tell people, when you hold office, that is for a period of time. I am here as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, and I want you all to really take a very careful listen and a look at what you're seeing being offered to us, the electorate and the population, and what really makes sense there. Because you see all the old talk and the screaming and the shouting about who have this and who do this and all that. That is not what we as a population want to hear. And you're hearing from the PNM, this is what we're offering you. We're offering you a better way of life because we're offering the councils and the corporations more autonomy to be able to service their burgesses.
Meanwhile, government distributes residential lots to former employees of Petrotrin. Earlier today, 180 plots of land were handed out during the computerized draw. Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs, Stuart Young, said government is fulfilling its commitment to the former Petrotrin workers.
Cabinet also took an important decision at the time to offer to former employees the opportunity of either agricultural lots of land of 2 acres or residential lots if you were first time and you didn't own a residential property of 5,000 square feet. So I'm pleased today, and I'd like to thank my colleagues at the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development for doing what you all have done, and the Land Settlement Agency for getting this done as we continue our obligation to the former workers of Petrotrin. It is an obligation we take very seriously, and I hope that we will be able to speed it up to make sure that everybody gets their fair share.
Also addressing this morning's gathering was Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Camille Robinson-Regis. Minister Robinson-Regis listed some of the areas where lands are to be distributed.
LSA has advised that lots at La Romaine 2, La Romaine, Felicity 2, Chaguanas, La Philippine 2, Grand Couva, Ponderosa, Golconda, and Glenroy 2 are all at varying stages of development. And as soon as these lots become available, these will be distributed. At this time, lots are available at Pitimon in St. Madeleine, Harmony Hall in Gasparillo, Springle Street in Point Fortin, and Wellington Road in Davie.
Government thanked the former workers on behalf of all of Trinidad and Tobago. This morning's ceremony was hosted by the Land Settlement Agency. The United National Congress is calling on Chief Elections Officer of the EBC, Fern Narcis-Scope, to reverse her decision and allow the party to witness the sorting of special voter ballots on Friday at the EBC head office. A release from the party says Ms. Narcis-Scope communicated her decision to not allow the UNC to witness the sorting of these special ballots via telephone to the party earlier today. The release says the election rules enshrined in law, however, do not contemplate any dealings with ballots, which have been cast by staff of the Elections and Boundaries Commission in the absence of the candidate or an appointed representative. Accordingly, the UNC says it has formally written to Ms. Narcis-Scope to ask her to reconsider her position and respond by noon tomorrow. The party says should Ms. Narcis-Scope fail to respond or to deny the party its legal and democratic rights, it will be constrained to seek judicial intervention to ensure the sanctity of the democratic electoral process as prescribed by the Presentation of the People Act is maintained and conducted in accordance with the letter as well as the spirit and intent of the law. An appeal to drivers to exercise greater care and caution on the nation's roads. The appeal from Trinidad and Tobago Police Service follows 2 road traffic collisions which claimed 2 more lives. Kevin Garcia has more in this report.
At around 1:30 a.m. on Monday, officers from the St. Margaret's Police Station responded to a report of a road traffic accident along Hermitage Road, Claxton Bay. The driver was identified as 33-year-old Terrell Brown of number 2 Clement Joseph Drive, Claxton Bay, who received fatal injuries in the collision. And around 10:40 p.m. on Monday, 42-year-old Amrit Norbert of number 2 Brazil Village, Sangre Grande, was killed when his motor vehicle was proceeding west along the Eastern Main Road, Valencia, in the vicinity of Mount Zion Church. These 2 road traffic deaths increased the current road fatality figure for Trinidad and Tobago to 58. For the same period in 2022, there were 62 deaths. TTPS Road Safety Coordinator Sergeant Brent Batson reiterated the preventable nature of these tragedies. He says 2 more families have lost their loved ones unnecessarily in tragedies which need not occur if drivers would have been more cautious and responsible on the roadways. He says although road traffic deaths are lower when compared to last year, There continues to be reckless driving patterns which endanger not only the drivers themselves, but their passengers and other road users. Senior Superintendent of the Traffic and Highway Patrol Branch, Clint Arthur, also lamented the fact that the months of April, May, and June saw an increase in road traffic deaths, although officers from this unit have been engaged in a sustained effort in traffic enforcement. He says although they are appealing to drivers to obey the rules and regulations governing the roadways, he has met with the command team with the goal to increase road policing operations both along the highways and within the divisional main roads. Reporting for News Center 5, I am Kevin Garcia.
All right, y'all. So I'm in Birmingham for the NABJ convention. 7 a.m., my phone goes off. Man, have you seen what happened in Montgomery, Alabama, which is right down the street from Birmingham? So apparently a security guard was trying to arrange boats as terms of them docking. And so this one boat, the folk did not want to move their boat. So this black guy tried to actually do it. And all of a sudden, several white men began to brutally attack him. And man, they did not see the black 54th coming. They didn't see it was a scene out of glory. They didn't see it was the 761st Battalion of Patton's Army. All of a sudden, brothers and sisters came out of nowhere, and it wasn't nothing but a bunch of Nat Turners left and right, swinging left and right. Rotate.
That guy in the white shirt is crew from our little dinner cruise boat who got off our ship to go over there to move that black pontoon boat on his own because those guys who parked there were told not to leave it there and they left it there. So he's just pushing it off. That's funny. Took matters into his own hands. I love it. I hope the police give him a big old ticket. Ooh, confrontation with the owner of the boat. Those guys are
So here's what's going on. Okay, there are people who are on a boat watching this thing take place. So that's they're shooting on this particular boat. So while they're watching this whole deal, they're recording the entire argument. You see these folks, all the security guards, but don't leave the audio up. Security guards are all in his face. They're watching this. The next thing you know, all of a sudden, the fight is about to ensue. And then this thing takes off like crazy. Now, mind you, his job is to make sure how the boats are being placed in there. These people dared to get an attitude because he started moving the boat. That's why they upset. And so you see all the pointing going back and forth. You see the arguing going back and forth. No respect for him whatsoever as a security guard. They want to do whatever it is they want to do. And all of a sudden, this thing about to get real physical real soon. In about 30 seconds. And when this thing goes off, oh man, that's when stuff gets real wild. And you see, multiple people are coming up to him. And he's explaining to one guy, and the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy. They don't care. They're not listening. They don't care whatsoever. Then this happens. Go full screen.
I was told a minute ago.
Yeah! Woo! 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 They scared. Look at them. They scared. Woo! Beat their ass.
All right, y'all about to see something right real quick. They whooping on these dudes. You're going to see in a moment where guy in the red short, he wants to avoid all these brothers. He jumps into the water to avoid them.
She whooping her ass. She finna put her.
You got folks running through, they getting cold cocked.
Pass ass up. Cause y'all were wrong.
Watch this. Oh, damn. Oh, hell. They start backing off. A man in the red short start getting in the water. Now it's going to be a white woman in the red dress. She wants to get in on this. The brothers don't want to hit her. And then two sisters come strolling through saying, yo, we got it. We got it.
Get in their ass. Oh, look at the Brawl. The Brawl jumping their ass. Because y'all were wrong for jumping on that black man like that, baby. What y'all thought was going on? They put their ass in the water, y'all. Boo out! Boo out! Boo out! Boo! Set their ass up. Baby, please. Ooh. Action. Boo out! Yo, look at the man that waving. He was the one that got dunked on. Don't cry though. Hello. Let go, man. Time to go, man. I need to go shop. I bet y'all won't try that shit no more. On my mama. These motherfuckers need to have handcuffs on. Ain't no need to cry now. These the ones that started it. Y'all need to put handcuffs on them. Why they down there fucking crying? Them the ones that need to have the handcuffs on right here. Miss Susan McCluby and all of them. Yeah, they got clubbed up. All of them. All of them. Yeah, come get them. Come get them. Come get them. Yeah. He started that shit. Get them. Yeah. Yeah. All of them. Yeah. 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 All them motherfuckers. Fuck they come out.
All they ass.
All of them.
We got the goddamn video on folks.
The fuck? That what you get? All that ass.
All that ass.
All of them.
I ain't got shit. All that ass. Hey, all of them. They ain't got no cover. They ain't got no cover.
All they motherfucking ass. Cause they should have did that. The man with the white shirt on, they jumped on him. Right there. Right here. All of them.
All them jumped on
baby, all of them. That shit was crazy. You should have did that. Man, we were waiting to get on the boat. He worked here.
He hopped on the paddle boat to come over here and tell them they was all over.
And they had kept telling them to move their boat, but the Harriet couldn't dock.
When he got off, all these white people, they jumped
on him.
They jumped on him. We were finna beat their ass, but when the boat jumped,
so when the boat got off, you know, they came on there and, you know, I ain't gonna lie, they started that.
You saying the white guys jumped on the
Yeah. He worked here. He was just telling them to move their personal boat so the Marriott could dock. Because we waiting to get on the fishing cycle and they keep circling around and they couldn't get off.
Okay.
He moved their damn boat and that's when they came down there and jumped on the damn man.
Okay.
That's where that came from. What?
Just for a statement, we ain't talking about you, brother.
Yeah, they jumped on him. They shouldn't even be arresting him.
Okay.
They shouldn't even be arresting him. He shouldn't even be arrested. They jumped on him. He wasn't doing shit for his job. And they don't need to cry now because you were jumping on them too, baby. Yep, him too. Him, right here. Him. All them, baby. Why is she down there crying? Why is she down there crying? Him, all them.
Y'all got video? Anybody got video? Anybody got video?
We waiting on the boat. Baby, we waiting on the fishing fight.
You got the video so I can see.
Huh?
You got the video.
Holding on your damn street, stopping, jumping, bumping, every car off in this damn thing. Throwing the balls up at these soldiers, screaming and bleeding from their nose. But when we start, that's where we make them hit the flow. Ain't no game off in this thing. We be deep off in your
All right, so I want y'all to see. You see this white woman? She come running down right there in the white. Then all of a sudden she jump in there. She about to end up in the water. Watch. That sister's dragging her up. She now in the water. Hey, I told y'all what was going down. This thing got crazy. You had chairs that were flying as well. Let me tell you something. It was unbelievable. Again, social media has completely blown up. I tell you, if I type in chair right now in Twitter, I guarantee you this video here is coming up. Look right here, y'all. There have been folks sitting here taking pictures with the chairs. They were sitting here. All of that. You've seen. Here's another angle of folk swinging. They were not playing around in this battle in Montgomery that took place at the riverfront, and it was just again unbelievable. And look, the memes have been flying left and right. Somebody put this tweet up. The National Museum of African American History and Culture already got the Battle of Montgomery chair on display. That's one of the memes. Roll the next one, y'all. Come on. Come on, let's go. Here we go. Guns down, chairs up. We've seen that one. Keep going. Keep going. Try that in a small town. Bloody Saturday, Montgomery. This brother already got a photo of the Brawl on a T-shirt and already selling the shirt. And he says, on my way to Cracker Barrel to celebrate. All right, let's go to the next one. You got the photos of George Floyd, MLK, Rosa Parks, and Malcolm X on this image here. Keep going. We got this one right here. Bat signal and help came immediately. My man threw his hat in the air, and the cavalry came running. All right, next, let's go. Have a seat, 1955. Drop the lower third. Have a seat, 1955 in Montgomery. Have a seat, 2023. Let's go to the next one, y'all. Let's go. More memes here. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. We see that not the SS dead ass pulled up in Montgomery. We got that one right there. Keep going. What we got? What's the next meme? They're calling homeboy Aquaman. Guess what? We actually got a statement. That brother right there already has a publicist. Do y'all have it on the graphic up from his publicist? Heartfelt gratitude from the publicist of our hero. Y'all have it. Go ahead, pull it up. We hope this message finds you well and filled with joy as we come together to celebrate the remarkable act of bravery and compassion shown by Aaron, our cherished young hero. While I'm reading, y'all got the video of him swimming across that water. In the face of adversity, Aaron selflessly came to the rescue of a fellow colleague, showcasing courage beyond his years. We are immensely proud of his actions and the values he exemplifies, standing as an inspiration to us all. Show the video of him swimming. The overwhelming love and support pouring in from all corners of the state and surrounding areas have deeply touched Aaron. Your kindness and encouragement have shown him the power of unity and the warmth of a caring community. The outpouring of affection serves as a reminder that together we can create positive change and uplift one another. We, the publicist team, his parents, along with, here's the video of Aaron doing his thing, going across that water. Go right, come on, y'all, pull it up. We, the publicist team, his parents, along with his extended family, want to extend our sincerest gratitude to each and every one of you for your unwavering support during this time. Your messages and gestures of appreciation have not gone unnoticed, and they have left a lasting impact on Aaron and his family. As we navigate the journey ahead, we kindly request the anonymity for Aaron to process and reflect on the whirlwind of emotions he's experiencing. We assure you that he will continue being a force for good in the world. Once again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Let's continue to spread love, kindness, and compassion, and together we can make a difference. Makina Lachey is the publicist for that brother right there. Let's go back to some of the memes. Yeah, I'm telling you, the tweets, the Instagram posts, the social media posts, y'all have been absolutely crazy, hilarious. Folks have been saying Juneteenth as a new date. These black folks here crack me up, and black and white folks. They did an actual reenactment, y'all. These black and white folks did a reenactment. They already done. They already put with the audio. Now I want y'all to watch the brother swimming. He gonna get out the pool. He gonna start wringing out his shirt. I'm telling y'all, yo, folks have not wasted any time whatsoever. Y'all, they even got, listen, look, y'all, they even dropped Brawl training videos. And this sister here, I can't make it up. Watch this.
This stuff just really, really pisses me off, right? Because all this really does is ignore and erases the disabled kids that want to participate, right? So what you're going to want to do, right? If you have a crutch, you're going to take your crutch, you're going to put your hand at the middle, you're going to use your elbow like a fulcrum, then from one side to another. You see the momentum? Yeah. Okay. Next time, just make it more accessible and inclusive.
She said, let's make it more inclusive. Oh my God, that was too much. Okay. All right. I came across this one here, y'all. Oh, dang, what happened to it? Okay. Y'all, I got to show y'all this here. My man has already put out, he's called Song a Day Man. It's called The Ballad of the Montgomery Brawl. The Ballad of the Montgomery Brawl. Listen.
Oh, come on, oh, come on.
Montgomery Brawl. Swim and run, skip and crawl. Just get yourself to the Montgomery Brawl. 'Cause slaves were disembarked there, right on that same pier. The misplaced white entitlement trickles down through the year. But acts of solidarity, while not fixing all the past, take on waves of meaning like kicking Southern ass. Pride comes before the fall. Down at the Montgomery Brawl, speeding head first to a brick wall. Fuck around, find out at the Montgomery Brawl. There's no happy endings, and there's no recompense. Just reflections of the times we live that make no fucking sense. But you can feel those punches and the men slam to the ground. The triumph of the human spirit as the chair comes crashing down. Heat wave, summer squall. Down at the Montgomery Brawl. Form up, stand tall. Just get yourself to the Montgomery Brawl. Swim, run, and skip and crawl. Fuck around, find out at the Montgomery Brawl. Just get yourself to the Montgomery Brawl.
No, I'm telling y'all, okay, and here's how crazy it is, y'all. Seriously, folk been sitting here. Matter of fact, brother here had to go ahead and respond to Jason Aldean. Listen.
That shit might fly in the city. Good luck. Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road.
Try the small town. Okay, they said y'all tried it. This is what happened. Okay, all right. Okay, this was too funny. They said this is how them boys in Montgomery pulled up. I told y'all, yo, we play all of it, y'all. Okay, hold up. Okay. This is a great tweet. Black Twitter watching the Montgomery Brawl. Go.
I'm rooting for everybody black. I am. Betting on black tonight. I'm rooting for everybody black.
All right, let's see here. I got a couple more. Okay, this is how stupid it is, y'all. People are literally texting me saying, play this one. Okay, hold up. I got to find. Let me do this here. Okay, because there were some comments made. So Stephen Reed is the mayor. Do y'all have the mayor's statement? Y'all have it in the control room? Okay, pull it up, please. The mayor of Montgomery. So he's the first black mayor in Montgomery's history. Stephen Reed issued this statement. He said last night the Montgomery Police Department acted swiftly to detain several reckless individuals for attacking a man who was doing his job. Warrants are being signed and justice will be served. This was an unfortunate incident which never should have occurred. As our police department investigate these intolerable actions, we should not become desensitized to violence of any kind in our community. Those who choose violent actions will be held accountable by our criminal justice system. Now, the folks who were involved in this, y'all, they actually, all the folks out are out. People have been sending information talking about asking questions about the Montgomery Bail Project. They said that individuals, everybody is actually out of jail, so no one is still in jail. So there's no need to send resources as well. Again, this here, let me see here. Y'all have it up. Let me see if I can try. I'm trying to switch. I got some stuff that's on my phone that people are sending me that I want to show y'all. Let's see. Here's a great photo here. Oh, well, let me see if I can pull this down. Folks literally took the photo, took this here. Why this brother here get the photo of the chair, the image of Malcolm X holding an AK-47 by the window. This brother took a picture with him holding a chair by a window looking out. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. All right, let's see here. I saw some other videos, y'all, that have been making me holler and scream. Let's see here. I got to play this one. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Oh, this is pretty good one here. Somebody took the photo from Good Times and they went to work. So you see right here, they got the Alabama Sweet Tea Party. That's what it's called. They got all the people in the photo sitting there dancing. Come on back. Come on back. All right, let me see here. All right, let's see if I can find something else. Let's see here. Oh my God. There are some other hilarious videos that I have seen. This one here is truly funny. Let me go. Maybe I can go to the beginning. All right, pull it up.
Alabama Brawl. Honey, is it because I am in Alabama or is it because I own a watercraft myself? Here's the deal. Y'all got what y'all deserve. Did you really think you was going to put your hands on somebody that was out there doing their damn job, not just to keep you safe, but to keep everybody safe at that dock? Here's the problem. People get out there and start drinking out there on the water and come back and they done got big and bad. All right? But you met the wrong one that day, honey. You met the wrong one that day because there was people in places that needed to be put and they got put in their place. You get up in my face, I can't guarantee what's going to happen to you neither. Now, I don't condone violence, but that right there, y'all got a show put on y'all, and that's y'all's damn fault. Don't get up in nobody's damn face acting like you're gonna tell somebody what you're gonna do on his damn dock. All right, that's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all get out there in the water and you act crazy, and come back and got dealt with. Did y'all see that one man's Crocs? Lord, it looked like his Crocs got his ass whipped. Oh well, I don't know why everybody wants me to talk about this Alabama Brawl.
Oh yeah, I'm petty. Okay, all right, let's see here. I'm real petty. I got the what? Oh yeah, y'all saw the photo. My man had some Crocs. They beat the Crocs off his ass. Look at this here. Lord have mercy. Y'all, they beat the Crocs off of his ass. That is hilarious. All right, check this out. I just got this text message right here. Go to my iPad. It says, "Oh, I'm ready. Just check the garage." And they got a chair hanging in the garage. Somebody worked with a company. They sent me that. They said one of their co-workers sent that to them. All right, hold up. I got another video. All right, Jamal Bryant posted this one. I hollered when I saw this one because you know people got all the videos. Check this out. Go. Audio, come on.
People on this list. To post and bail for 125 people? Was that a problem? Just a minute. There's some guy out there who wants to post bail on everybody we popped at that after-hours joint.
Well, who is he?
I don't know. Some fancy color guy.
He's probably some nut. Tell him how much it'll cost him. It'll probably run off scared.
Okay, let's see. 125. Class A misdemeanor will be about 500. 75.
Oh man, I'm telling y'all, they are killing with all of the videos, the memes. Let's see here. There's another video that I saw that I thought was hilarious. Go, play it.
Was absolutely hilarious. Oh,
Oh, y'all really let Jason Aldean gas your heads up, huh? That was your first mistake. You don't take fighting tips from a fake cowboy who wears bedazzled skinny jeans. I love to see it. You know those idiots were on the boat all day listening to that song on repeat. I can't wait, Bubba, till they try that in a small town. We'll show them. I've never seen a song taken away from a group of people so quickly in my life. You had a month. You had a good run. Oh, and I already know what the comments are going to say in this video. How could you celebrate violence? Both sides were wrong. You're causing a divide. Why can't we all just get along? Do you know why there's so much glee and happiness and celebration after this brawl? Because the scenario never ends this way. And we've seen that one too many times, where a group of angry white men go to attack an innocent black man. And in this case, an innocent black man who was just trying to do his fucking job. This isn't how the story usually ends. And that deserves to be celebrated. So you think about that before you say some shit like that. And understand why people are happy and people are celebrating. So, Mr. Aldean, it's time to whip out your notebook and pencil and write a new anthem. Anyways, bye. What happened in Montgomery?
Telling y'all, we didn't have that particular angle. Remember when the white woman who's in the red dress, she came in there like swinging, and the brother, they kind of started like, nah, I ain't about to sit here and hit this woman. But then the sister was like, don't worry about it, bro. We got this here. So let me go ahead and pull that clip up. All right, play. And listen, I'm telling y'all, this thing has been crazy literally for the last 48 hours. I don't know. I've been watching the reaction of Julian, Renita, and Omakongo. Omakongo, I'm going to start with you. This thing has been lit, and folk have been having a field day with the Montgomery Brawl.
Man, it's just like everybody said, it's like not condoning violence, but everybody has the right to self-defense. And, really the end of the day, the solidarity, what was amazing. I don't want to be like pouring, I don't know, sadness on all of this, but I just get concerned about, what could have happened if one of those guys on the boat had a gun in an open carry state. Like, this could have been a lot worse. And I'm concerned about the legal troubles. There was one of the brothers who hit the white woman with a chair, and what's going to happen, should have got arrested for that. But at the end of the day, people this is a different generation. And Joe Madison talks about this all the time. It's like the days of having to sit back and take it are over, and you've shown weeks, every week you got videos like this of people going nuts and Black folks standing up for themselves. And if people are going to go down, folks have decided we're going to go down swinging. And this was a classic and latest example of that. I'm just glad nobody was strapped and that this didn't end up a lot worse.
See,
Jermichael Phelps did his thing. And
no, they call him Jermichael.
Jermichael, that was amazing, man. That was amazing. But I'm glad it didn't turn out worse. But
the thing here, Renita, is here. But and I'm gonna say this, and again, this is not glorifying. It's people like, oh man, y'all making light of it. No, we have shown now for multiple years Black folks barbecuing, a little Black girl selling lemonade, a Black man with his car 1 inch in the crosswalk, a Black man at FedEx and a Black man at UPS trying to deliver packages, getting shot at, getting threatened, getting cussed out, having the cops called on them. Black folks Black man looking at some damn birds in Central Park, and the white woman threatened to call the cops. Black.
They wrong for that now. That boy swimming his over there. Yeah. That boy finna help that boy. Get up there, young boy. Get up there, young buck. Get up there, young buck. Get his. Ooh, ooh.
You better run.
Yeah. What's up?
Y'all were talking a minute ago.
Yeah. Woo! 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 They sad. Look at them. They sad. Woo! Beat that. Woo! Oh my God. Woo! That what you get. That what you get. That what you get. Oh, tie up. Ooh, she went behind. She better put her in the water.
In the water.
In the water. Tie up. You some. Boom. 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 Woo! He ran. He jumped in the water.
A black girl selling lemonade. A black man with his car 1 inch in the crosswalk. A black man at FedEx and a black man at UPS trying to deliver packages, getting shot at, getting threatened, getting cussed out, having the cops call on them. Black folks have been, black man looking at some damn birds in Central Park, and the white woman threatened to call the cops. Black people have been just doing their jobs, going about their regular black lives, and hell, we just showed the black guy in a neighborhood, they won't leave his ass alone fishing. I mean, like, they have called the cops. And so people need to understand, black people are tired of being mistreated by white folks in this country. And guess what? They ran up against a brother and didn't realize, oh, they thought, oh, it's 5 or 6 of us, we can beat him down. No, the black posse came rolling through.
Absolutely. And listen, not all lynchings have to happen with ropes. They were trying to lynch that black man by jumping on him and beating him, all of those people. And like you said, they thought it was just going to be them and they were going to be able to do this and there would be no consequences. But those people got every single thing that they earned from those black people. And you can call it condoning violence. I really don't care. They got everything that day that they earned. And so I'm glad that the community did come together to literally save this black man's life and also probably taught these folks a valuable lesson. Don't try it. So, you know, they all gave him something to work with and I am here for it.
Absolutely. Julian.
Well, you know, I have been cracking up. But anyway, right on to the black people who came together. Shame on those crazy white boys who, as the girl said, they had clearly had been drinking. They had been doing something, because what would possess them? Just move your damn boat. All you had to do was move your boat. They didn't have to be a thing. The man was just doing his job. Black folks have had enough. Lots of Black folks are standing up, and it felt good to watch, Roland. I have to tell you, I'm not condoning violence. Well, whatever. But it felt good to watch Black folks coming together and fighting back. And basically, that young brother who swam across the thing, get him on the show. Let's hear from him. Let's hear from some of these folks who are there. And right on to the sisters. I mean, that brother showed enormous restraint in not clocking the you-know-what out of that white woman, the red dress on. But the sisters had that. He was trying to be chivalrous. I don't know why. But the sisters had that. And when I saw that sister kicking, again, I'm not applauding violence much.
Bottom line is, they came to that man's defense. And I've seen other videos where white folks have been attacked, football games, drunk folks, and folks came to their defense. That's what this was. And if they did not come to his defense, they were going to beat the hell out of that brother. But I got to play one more video. I got to play one more. Here y'all go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, King J. Wells. Today, I want to teach you one of the moves that I saw in the fight video. The key to having the best chair smack is leverage. Hands here, grip here, and then it's more like a, how like what is called ring around the rosy. You just want to come up to here, then back up to here. So we're going to try it again in slow motion. Here. Matter of fact, let's watch the video. Let's see how he did it. Okay, so now it was more like a this. Then you pop a bitch. So it's like, let's do it fast. You ready? Let's do it fast again. You ready? You see my foot? You see, the main thing is the grip in the feet, hands. What'd you say, bitch? Yeah. So there you go.
I told y'all I'm petty. All right, okay. Let me find this other one that I saw. Oh man, where is it? Oh damn, this is a good one. I just got my open carry license. Come on. Okay. All right, come back. Okay. All right. Oh, this was trending for a while there. This was trending right there. Scuba Gooding Jr. Come back. That was trending for a while. Scuba Gooding Jr. Let me see here. Okay. Y'all, there's one more I saw. Oh, man, did I post it? Where is it? This one brother, y'all, he had a play-by-play of this here video. The play-by-play was fire. Oh, my God, I was crying laughing. I'm going to try to see if I can find it. And again, I'm a condo. The reason I think Black people have just been have been responding just no chill. I mean, I'm talking about no chill at all. Is because we have tolerated so much shit. We have turned our cheek. We have backed up. We've de-escalated situations. We've had these Karens jumping in Black folks' faces and all this sort of stuff. Yep. And folk just tired of that BS.
Absolutely. And to be quite honest, we are going to see more of it. I mean, everything that's going on in the political space and the like. And, some of these guys actually think they've been deputized by the police or something. And so they feel emboldened to just put their hands on us, and they're not even strapped. They just feel so emboldened to Black bodies that they can do that. This man is an employee. And like we all said, what would have happened if people didn't jump in? I mean, they could have beat him up so badly, just could have fell into the water and drowned. And this is happening everywhere, every single place we go. People who are not even law enforcement, it's like they've been emboldened watching those videos with the police and so on and so forth to feel that they can do anything to us anytime, anywhere. And too many of us are saying enough. I can't think of any Black person I know who would not have intervened in that situation, because we're just tired of it. And people have been watching a lot of these videos from, like the 60s and stuff, where so many of our people had to take it, and they think that that's just going to repeat itself. And that it just ain't real anymore.
Absolutely, Renita. And but let me also remind people, while a lot of folks have been commenting, this is the same state as we speak that's trying to keep a black 2nd congressional district out of black folks' hands as well. So we ain't just catching hands on the river, we catching hands in the legislature.
Right. And you know what? I bet the part where you mentioned about how this is the first black mayor of Montgomery, I bet you that had something to do with tensions probably rising in the area. And it's a white lash that we
Donald
always...
Trump was there Saturday night.
Right, exactly. And it's a white lash that we always talk about. First black mayor of Montgomery, come on. Like, we know what that means. And so at the end of the,
there's a candidates forum.
At the end of the day, all that happened is Jason Aldean let these Jim Crow relic throwbacks get mollywopped. He walked them right into getting mollywopped. That's what happened.
Julian.
I love it. I mean, the mayor is a relatively young brother. He's very good. I've met him a couple of times. He's really on the ball. So he managed to put out a nice statement that just basically said no room for violence. But, you know, the statements have been powerful on these videos you're showing, the things that people have to say, the lessons about how to use a chair as a weapon. Black folks have had enough. They really have had enough. And I've seen too many older Black people, my mom, my grandmother, swallow in the face of this kind of ignorance, swallow it. I remember my grandmother once, this woman made her move her car. And I was like, Grandma Rose, it was like maybe 67. I was like, oh, hell no, Grandma Rose, don't move your car. But she, rather than get into it with the white woman, she moved her car. And, you know, I had a can of you-know-what, but I was a kid. But in any case, I've seen too many Black people have to swallow. What these folks are saying is we're not swallowing the spit anymore. We're not swallowing it. And good for them, good for the community for coming together. Just it feels good to watch. It just really feels good to say, this time we stood up.
Absolutely. And it is great that happened. And just so folks know, this is only so fitting. And maybe I will end the show with this one, which I think is a great, I think this is probably the most appropriate way to end the show by showing you this important historical fact that the person who patented the folding chair was a Black man. Nathaniel Alexander from Lynchburg, Virginia, patented the folding chair. According to his patent, Nathaniel Alexander designed his chair to be used in schools, churches, and other auditoriums. His design included a bookrest that was usable for the person sitting in the seat behind. It was ideal for church required use. Below, you can view the patent drawing of Nathaniel Alexander's folding chair. And we now know, Nathaniel, as you are an ancestor, your chair has been used to whoop ass on the riverboat, on the docks, where Black slaves were sold in Montgomery, Alabama. Some stuff just come full circle. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it Black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Oh, y'all, you know what time it is?
Girl, no charcoal grills are allowed. I'm white. I got you, huh? Illegally selling water without a permit on my property. Whoa! Hey! You don't live here. I'm uncomfortable.
All right, we do not condone violence, any violence whatsoever. But the moment somebody touch you, the law says that's self-defense. This woman in this video, the white woman, is a Mississippi elections commissioner. I think she gonna think twice the next time she try to touch a Black woman. Roll it.
Because ever since I've been standing here, y'all been
Ain't nobody, ain't no y'all. I just woke up. I just said something to you. Don't get in your truck before you get smacked. Now go now. I'm asking you to get out of my face.
I'm asking you to quit pointing.
Get your hand. Get out of my face, lady. Come on, Fred. Come on, Fred. Come on, Fred. Come on, Fred. Yeah, stop. Yeah, come on, Fred. Come on, Fred. Stop. down to that truck. Goddamn. Watch.
She started.
No, I didn't.
Ms. McClain, you started that, McClain. You walked up in her face.
I asked her what she said. And when you record this, you make sure you get the whole thing and don't slice it.
I ain't gonna slice it.
You will. And I'm pressing charges.
Well, you walked up in her face. We got everything recorded.
She said something.
We got everything recorded, Ms. McClain.
I don't care. It's always one way with y'all.
But y'all, who are y'all?
You and anybody.
Who are y'all?
You and anybody else with a phone.
Have a good day.
Oh, I will when she gets arrested.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
We don't have any confrontations out here.
I ain't got no confrontation, Mr. Brown.
Well, what's the
You
problem?
stood in my truck. You won't stay over there. You're bound and determined to get in my way. And she made me.
Man, I don't know what she's talking about. She walked up into this lady's face.
Yeah.
Walked way over here to her
I walked
face.
over there to see what she was
You've
saying.
been over there off and on all